Hey guys, hello, happy, what's today? Sunday? Happy Sunday to you. Hope you're having a great weekend. Today we're doing something a little bit differently. We're checking out a game called Soulstone Survivors, but also celebrating 25,000 subscribers on my channel. To celebrate, we're going to be doing a live Q&A. My wife is going to be reading off your questions to me while I play this game. Say hello, wife.
Hello, wife.
She's known as Spellbound in chat, one of our mods here. Many of you guys already know her, of course. But yeah, she'll be reading off your questions. In order to enter your questions, at the top of the chat, whether you're on PC or mobile, you'll see a little thing that says, click here to enter questions or ask a question, something like that. You'll see at the top, it's highlighted in blue and the text is white. Just click that, enter your question there. It'll put it in a list on my side, and then my wife is going to read it off to me while I play this game. If you don't know what this game is, if you've played or seen Vampire Survivors, it's extremely similar to that. Same type idea of gameplay. It's a roguelike. It's a roguelike where the focus is to survive as long as you can or complete the stage. And so from there, it's a matter of every character that you pick has a unique ability that they start with, as well as their own stats. As you can see on the right side of the screen, I have that Elementalist highlighted, and these are the starting stats that we have, but we can have up to 6 active abilities, and then no cap at all to the passive abilities to up our damage and movement speed and all that across the board. The whole idea, again, is just survive as long as you can or complete the stage, and then with this, you'll be able to get all sorts of unlocks. You can see here that I have all the skills unlocked already. Everything is maxed out, 5 out of 5, 3 out of 3, a 1 out of 1. I have played this game a fair bit already. I've put like 10, 11 hours into it, and I don't know how I've completed this already, but apparently I've done very well. I have all but 2 of the characters unlocked as well. So we're going to be trying out a bunch of different characters, and I will start off with something very easy to get you guys to understand how the game works. I'm going to play the Sentinel. I've not played the Sentinel a whole lot yet, and then we'll go ahead and just start up the very first level and go from there. Now, let me say hello to everyone. Hope you're doing well. The first name I see in chat I'm so excited about is Jeff Gagne. Hope you're doing great, dude. He says, man, I would recognize that voice anywhere. Dude, I hope you're doing wonderful. It's great to see you here. Thank you for coming by. What's up, Degree, Richard, Soon, Biggie, Matt, Naz, Anna, Elgernon, Scrabble Chex Mix, Urban Marine, Froshy, JM17, Cosmic Kitty, Rayhan Roostu, Carmen is here, Megadeth Mayhem, hello. What's up, Black Crystal? What's up, Josh? What's up, Rich? Agamemnon, hello. What's up, Monster? Doing fine, my dude. Great to hear it, man. What's up, Colton Lambo, Dustin Hicks, Alan, Avalanche, Tyler, Roku? Be a member again soon? Hey, I'm just glad you're here, dude. Don't feel obligated. I'm just happy you're here. What's up, Talita? What's up, Potato and Biggie and Lauren and Ruger Dude and Vin B? Blurred Girl? Guys and girls, thank you all for tuning in. Thank you for hanging out with me. It's a pleasure to have you here. Again, we are celebrating 25,000 subscribers on the channel. Just 7 months ago, my YouTube channel had 3,000 subscribers. Just 7 months ago. The channel here has been doing great, and I have you guys to thank for it. And so something that I want to do is I want you guys to get to know me and my wife better. If you have any questions for a wife, obviously don't make it too personal for her or myself. You know, we're not going to give you our credit card information. We're not going to tell you where we live, you know, where we were born, stuff like that. But if you want to get to know us on our personalities, the things we like to do, stuff like that, don't be afraid to enter your questions, and wife will read them off to me while I play the game, okay? Now, the reason why I'm having wife help is because this game gets extremely chaotic, and it's going to be hard for me to follow chat all the time. There will be pause breaks when I like level up and everything, but overall, it's just very hard to keep up with everything across the board. So wife is going to help us. Wife is going to help us. Really happy for you, man. Was not even aware you switched to YouTube before you poked me about Monster Hunter yesterday. Oh, man, I was just kind of sitting there playing, and I was like, man, I remember I used to watch Jeff play this game. I still remember the conversation we had in the hotel in Stockholm, dude. That was a moment in my life that'll always stick out to me. It was just such a cool experience being there with everyone, you know? Not to mention, you know, I was in a very different part of the world for myself, so everything is very vivid. It was the first time I left the North American continent, so Just very, it stands out to me in every way. What's up, Brittany? Good to have you here today. Hope you and Cole are doing fantastic. But yeah, I switched to YouTube 7 months ago because, you know, Twitch, you know, I was doing fine on Twitch, but it just wasn't growing anymore. It was just kind of, it was stagnant. It wasn't going anywhere. So I decided to change things up. I no longer play like multiplayer focused things, and I focus more on single player stuff. So that's what I do now. What's up, Prof? All right, guys, let's go ahead and start up a new game. We're gonna use the Sentinel just because I've not used them a whole lot yet. I've only played one round with them, and then we're gonna play on the very first level with all of the curses off, so that way you guys can get a basic understanding of what the game is like, and so that way you know what to expect, you know, when I do crank things up to higher difficulty. Now, with that said, again, if you want to answer, or if you want to enter any questions, you can enter your questions at the top of chat. You'll see a little area that says enter question or ask question. You enter that question there, and wife will read it off to me when she sees it. But yeah, as you can see, the gameplay here is very basic to start off with. It seems slower, but it will pick up, I promise. As the time goes on, more and more enemies, as well as types of enemies, will come out and try to kill me. And this is the level up screen. It'll pop up with 3 abilities that we could choose from. It's always random. We have to choose one, and then we move on to the next thing. With that said, Anna, thank you for 12 months of membership. The Beauty, thank you, Shimmer, for changing my life in a positive way. I owe you so much, making me so happy all the time with your streams. Anna, thank you, dude. Thank you for hanging out with me, not only here on YouTube, but you came with us over from Twitch. Thank you for being here, man. Thank you for a whole year of membership here already. Holy. And Jen is here. Jen, great to see you. Thank you for 14 months at tier 2. Suck it, Anna, 14 months. I mean, yay for all the months of membership of the Not Cults. Thank you very much, Jen, as well. I appreciate you, too. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. All right, guys, I'm going to give you another moment to enter any questions. I'm not even sure how many questions are there, if there are any yet. But again, this is a live Q&A, so if you have anything you want to know about me or my wife, don't be afraid to ask. Just ask away, dude. I'm going to vibe, play the game, chat with you guys while you guys ask questions, and go from there. What's up, Cole? With that said, wife, if there's any questions, ask away.
Oh, there's a bunch.
Oh, good. Good.
All right. Sorry, Urban, I'm going to skip over your joke questions. We can't ban Scrabble. Potato wants to know, what advice do you have for those who are starting to stream games?
Oh man, dude, this is a great way to start the stream, because I'm going to be honest with you. This is something that any content creator that's been at it for a long time has been struggling with. The best thing I can offer you, dude, is to focus on having a good time. Focus on playing things that you enjoy. That'll always be the #1 thing. No, don't worry about what other people think about the game that you're playing. As long as you're having a good time, you're playing things that matter to you, then that's going to shine the most. As long as you're having fun, other people that are like-minded will have fun as well. Hands down, the best thing I ever did for myself was moving from Twitch to YouTube and then just playing games that I enjoy. Instead of forcing myself to play the same multiplayer game day in and out, one of the biggest examples you guys saw for a long time that burned me out really bad, those of you guys that watched me over on Twitch, was playing Warzone every day because I felt stuck. I felt like I had to play Warzone. If I wasn't playing Warzone, then, you know, I wasn't doing it right. So make sure you focus on having a good time. Just have fun playing the games that you play and then sharing that experience with everybody else. That'll always be the #1 thing. Always. Thank you for your question, man.
All right, Screamer, I'm skipping over yours. That just says play Bloodborne. I can speak English. Is it Eldranon?
Elgranon. Elgranon. It's actually a Dragon Age reference.
Oh, okay. See, okay. You and all your mods are on, is it Veermeyer? You have to leave one behind. Who is it? You and all your mods.
Oh, no, dude. Vermeer, I assume. Mass Effects. Me and all my mods are on Vermeer. I have to leave one person behind. Who do I leave? That's twisted. That is a twisted, rigged question.
Screamer.
God, I don't know, man. I don't even know.
Screamer.
Let me think. Let me think here. I feel like a jerk no matter how I answer because it's like leaving someone behind, you know? Screamer, because heck that guy. I really have no good way of answering this question. I don't know. And I just feel like trolling Screamer, so Screamer. Yeah, someone volunteer, please. Someone volunteer. Oh God.
Screamer volunteered.
Hold on. Oh, good.
Not
Sneaky.
really.
Oh, dude, Sneaky's a good answer too, though. Me and Miranda are leaving me behind. That's fine. That's fine. I understand. Chris, thank you for 10 months of membership. Oof, I'm slacking. I guess Anna's my dad now. I mean, Anna's all of our dads, to be fair. Thank you, Chris, for 10 months. And Nas with tier 2 membership at 14 months. Don't make content for others. Make the content you enjoy, and the views will find you. Juice is proof. Exactly, dude. Like, just have a good time playing video games. That's always the focus when you're streaming video games, is you're doing it to have fun. And I would say specifically, go in with the expectation of it forever being a hobby. If you go in with the expectation of it being a hobby, then you can't really get your heart broken about it if something doesn't go your way. That's how I started, and you know, it has you know, obviously evolved into what it is now, and it's very different from what it used to be, but still, it was a healthy transition rather than a forced transition. Nas, thank you for 14 months of membership in tier 2, and Chris, thank you for 10 months. Okay, I'm ready for more questions. I'm ready.
All right. Kevin Stevenson, will you watch the Game Awards?
Will I watch the Game Awards? I always do. I'll be honest with you. I'm the type of person where I don't really care what games get what awards, but I am interested in the new announcements that are always involved. You know, new games, or even if it's a game that has already been announced, they often will show you know, newer gameplay or like a new trailer in general for them. And so I'm very much so into that. And I'm actually, there's a lot of games coming out next year that I'm hoping they show stuff on. The whole reason I've been playing Monster Hunter recently is because I'm very excited for Wild Hearts. That game, as soon as I saw them announce it, I was very, very excited for it. I love the idea of a game featuring a ton of boss fights, and that's exactly what this type of game has to offer. It's just boss fight after boss fight. And so Wild Hearts has my attention in a big way, plus Wo Long Fallen Dynasty as well. So these couple of games coming out early next year have definitely, you know, they have really gained my attention, and I want to be able to be there day one for them, and I'm hoping that we see some new stuff at them at the Game Awards too. Not an expectation, but it's a hope. And so that's generally why I do watch that stuff. As far as watching it on stream together, if it's at a decent time, then we could possibly watch it together. We'll see how that goes when it comes up. World premiere. Yeah, exactly.
All right. Seriously, Nas wants to know, do previous goal numbers Josh and I have agreed to on Twitch transfer to YouTube?
Gold numbers. I guess I would have to I would have to be reminded, if we're talking about like the whole idea of me wearing makeup at 100,000 followers. I remember that one specifically. If we ever hit 100,000 followers on Twitch, then I would, you know, have you do my makeup. If we, yeah, I mean, I'll agree to that here too. If we hit 100,000 subscribers on the channel, then I'll have you do my makeup, and I'll even, like, we'll do it on camera. It's fine.
I've always wanted to do that.
So yeah, Nas, that's, yes.
Wait, does that mean I get to, like, can I, like, tweeze your brows and stuff?
I don't know.
Get you all,
I don't know about that far.
schmexy?
I really don't want my eyebrows to be on fire. I really don't want that. We'll
Beauty is
talk about
pain.
it more when it comes up. We're still 75,000 subscribers away from that. We'll talk about that when we get there.
All right, just remember, beauty is pain.
Beauty is pain. What's up, Javier? Hey, Colton. Again, guys, if you want to enter any questions, you can enter questions by clicking the Ask Question on the top of the chat. Wife will read it off to me while I'm playing. I almost said Vampire Survivors. It's very similar to Vampire Survivors, though. It's Soulstone Survivors. As you can see, it gets pretty damn chaotic, and this is just base game. This is without any extra curses. So it's going to get crazier later when I show you guys. All right, next questions.
All right, Dustin Hicks wants to know how long you've been streaming on YouTube.
So I've been full-time YouTube for just over 7 months now. I've done a little experimenting with YouTube for, I don't know, probably a good like 14-ish months. But yeah, so about 14-ish months, and that's how I got my channel to be monetized. And that's why you see some people are members for like 14 months, because I was still doing everything over on Twitch back then. But my channel still got monetized quickly because I had a lot of support from the Twitch community when I was starting to do things over here and experimenting and stuff like that. And so I've been doing this full time here on YouTube, specifically 7 months. But I've been doing like streaming specifically for about 14. But you know, the streams were very inconsistent. I would do like one stream every couple of weeks, or you know, there was like a little bit of a schedule for a bit, and then I decided I was just gonna eventually move to YouTube, so I just kind of started ramping it up from there.
Very nice. Broku XX Broku XX wants to know, what is the meaning of life?
The meaning of life, I don't know. But 42 is the answer.
Yeah.
Yes. That is, oh, what is that? Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy. Yes. 42. If you don't know that, by the way, read the damn book, guys. It's short, but it's good. Read the book. There is no meaning to life. Best gaming stream on YouTube. Thanks, Shane. Thanks, man.
This next question, I think it's about the game. Alan asks, I wonder how the skill works. I
wonder how the skill works. Okay, so what happens is every time you level up, it gives you 3 random skills. You level up by collecting all these yellow glowing stones on the ground, and every time you kill an enemy, they drop a certain amount of them. Generally speaking, the tougher the enemy, the more stones they drop. And when you do level up, you can see the experience bar at the very, very bottom of the screen. It builds up as you collect these stones. As you can see, it just maxed out. And then it gives you 3 abilities. These ones right here are called active skills. You can see the slots right here. There's 6 active skills. That's your entire moveset. You get to pick up to 6, and then you can use some to replace more as you level up if you want to. But if you don't want to replace them anymore, then you can click replace choices with passive power-ups, and the passive power-ups will give you, you know, random things like more movement speed, more critical hit chance, more critical hit damage, more general damage, stuff like that. When I hit escape here, you'll see my character's attributes. You can see all of my stats here. These are all the stats that I've been gaining by collecting these passive attributes. See, right now, critical damage chance is actually 50%. So half of all my damage is actually critical damage, and it's taking my damage modifier and giving it 245 extra % of damage based on my damage modifier. There's a lot of numbers actually thrown out here, but you can kind of just do it absent-mindedly, like I am. You just kind of go. You just kind of go when you get to know the game. And obviously, every character, again, starts with one ability. This one just gets called Shoot, where I fire 3 arrows. And then, you know, I've gotten other things like Acid Rain, Chaos Bolt. But you can read, like, every ability has something unique to it. A lot of them will apply, like, status effects. Some of them will just do like a large AoE like Cluster Bomb, where it's 465 damage in an area, exploding into 20 smaller bombs, doing smaller damage, stuff like that. And then right here, I'm actually going to pick Lethality, because this will make my critical damage chance go up by an additional 10%, where it's at 50 right now. It'll now be 60. as you can see, by clicking that. And so you just kind of build this up over time, and it makes you stronger, so that way you can survive against larger, tougher, and more numerous enemies. And the whole goal is to survive as long as you can or complete the stage. In this case, every stage has 5 major bosses. You can see on the top right of the screen, I've defeated 2 bosses so far. They're called Lords of the Void, and you summon the next boss by eliminating a certain number of monsters. Right now we're at 1420 of 1500, so in 80 more enemy kills, the next boss will spawn, and then it goes from there. I hope I covered that thoroughly enough for you. If you have any more questions, don't be afraid to ask. I'm down to explain. This game does come out tomorrow. I was given early access to it by the developers, and it has been a very good time so far. I've been playing it a lot off stream too. It's been fun. I love this type of game. Okay, here's a boss, as you can see. Kalameth, the Avatar of Ice. You can see his health bar at the top. I'm actually decimating him. He already died. He already died. This is like only very base level stuff though, and I have a lot more experience in this game than what is actually like that. I can handle what they're throwing at me just fine. That's why I've not taken much damage. I've not died. I'm just kind of destroying everything. We will be pumping up the difficulty on the next one. I just wanted to do something very basic to show you guys how the game works. We'll do some tougher stuff after this.
Alrighty. Anna wants to know, what color would you want your whole setup theme to be?
So I kind of have like a charcoal and white thing going on for the most part already. I've always enjoyed like the charcoal or black and white themed stuff. It's always been like a nice... I've always enjoyed what it looks like. It's nice on the eyes. It's a nice aesthetic. And that's kind of what I have going on for the most part now. I include a little bit of red in there just because I am a big fan of Resident Evil. And the Umbrella Corp logo is red and white. And I actually have specifically my gaming PC has a bunch of red and white lights everywhere because I am that guy. I don't really go crazy for RGB, but if I am going to have options for that, then it's almost always red and white because I love the look of it. It reminds me of Resident Evil, being the Resident Evil fan that I am. Uncle Shane becoming a member of the stream as well. Thank you for doing that, man. Hope you enjoy the emotes you can use in chat as well as my videos comment sections. Thank you so much, Shane, for the crazy generosity. Thank you, man. Thank you, thank you. But yeah, for my setup, man, definitely like charcoal and white or black and white in general. Thank you, Shane.
All right. Lil Monster J would like to know, what's the most surprising aspect of moving to YouTube?
For me, the most surprising aspect was how quickly my channel just started gaining viewership. When I streamed on Twitch, streaming live on Twitch, I would get anywhere from like 35 to 85-ish viewers every day, like concurrent viewers. And then here on YouTube, if I'm playing Elden Ring, for example, it'll be anywhere from like 600 to 1,000. And that happened like right away. Like literally the day that I moved to YouTube, I went from streaming to like 40 people that day on my final stream on Twitch to well over 350 on YouTube just an hour later. And that was the first time that I had like that much viewership without getting like a large host or being on the front page of Twitch or anything like that. That was the first time after streaming for 6 years on Twitch that I ever experienced that. So honestly, just the incredible outreach to the gaming community that I've been able to garner instantly after moving was just something that I'll never forget about. It was instantaneous that I started just seeing so many more people on the regular, and it was kind of insane. It was kind of crazy. And to me, that'll always be the biggest thing. Like, all I've ever wanted when it comes to like streaming is just to, to have more people around to just watch what I do, experience the games alongside me. And I've been able to have that because of how great YouTube has been for me. I'm not going to say that YouTube is the best company to ever exist, blah, blah, blah. I'm not talking about the corporate side. I'm just talking about how the website itself works and how it supports my live streams. I'll never forget that. Hey, Kundinya. Hey, Simey. Grand Badger. Holy hell. What's up, dude? It has been years. Le Grand Badger. Hope you're doing great, man. Good to see you. Thanks for joining me. Holy hell. Does it feel easy to interact with a larger audience? No, not at all. It's infinitely more difficult. Way more difficult trying to keep up with everyone and keep everyone happy. Unfortunately, the reality is I'll never be able to see everything in chats. Like, that's just, you know, unrealistic. And, you know, I am often reminded by people, it's like, oh, you missed my chat. Oh, this streamer doesn't talk to everyone. I've even been accused of, you know, only responding to people that are like members and stuff like that, even though that's not even close to true. So it's infinitely more difficult the more people you have that are actively talking in chat. But honestly, I love it. Like, it's really great. Like, I've been having the time of my life these past few months, dude. This past 7 months have been great. Matt, thank you for the gifted membership to the community, man. Thank you very much. It went out to Boss Guy. Let's see the cult emotes for the new non-cults. Or, yeah, the new non-cult member. Thank you very much for that, Matt. Thank you so much, dude. And Anna with the 10 euros. I'm very emotional right now, literally crying. I'm so thankful for you, Josh. You have no idea. Thank you so much for taking away my negative and stressful thoughts. I grew up and became successful because of you. No, you became successful because of your willingness to kind of grind things out that you wanted to do, and you used me as something that you can use as, you know, as like a motivator of sorts. And I'm happy to be that for you, dude. But don't let me take responsibility for your life success. That's you, man. You put in that work. I didn't do that work for you. That's all you, baby. Congratulations on making it to where you are. I'm happy for you, and I'll always be here for you. Thank you for the 10 euros, Anna. Thank you so much, man. Okay, so as you can see, we finished up that level. Anna, that makes me feel really nice. Thank you, dude. That makes me feel really nice. So we killed the final boss on this. We killed the 5th boss, and it's been 13 minutes and 45 seconds that we did it. So we finished up this stage. And so because we survived, we get to leave. We won. GG. GG. And it'll show you know, all of your final stats, how much damage you did per skill, your curse intensity, how many soul stones you collected, materials, all that stuff. And so this next one, I'm actually going to crank things up, guys. I'm going to crank things up. We're going to play a different character. Let's go with the Chaos Walker. The Chaos Walker is a good time. And we're going to go ahead and throw it on. Let's do a level 2 curse thing right here at the Caves of Dalzog. We're going to turn on all the curses. You can see that reduces healing, explosive goblins appear earlier, elite enemies spawn more frequently, number of elites spawn simultaneously by 1, and every time you kill an enemy, there's a 10% chance of a meteor falling near your position. So yeah, we're turning on all these curses. So the curse intensity is 10 as well, which means that there's going to be more enemies, more enemy health, they do more damage, higher attack speed, all that stuff. This is going to be a lot more difficult, and it's going to be a lot more chaotic. I hope you guys are ready. Cyclones, thank you for the $5 super chat, dude. This is Hype Q&A. Sorry I couldn't help myself with my question. Hey, as soon as wife gets to it, as soon as we're able to talk about it, we'll talk about it, dude. Don't apologize for your question. As long as it's clean, we're good. As long as it's clean, we're good, dude. Thank you for the $5. I appreciate it. What's up, Shaolin? Grand Badger, I hope you're doing great, dude. It's been a long time. It's good to see your name in chat. Okay, I'm ready for another question.
Alrighty. Biggie89 wants to know how you feel. How do you feel about that people around the world are watching you?
Dude, there's nothing like it, man. Like, just imagine you're sitting in your bedroom, right? You're sitting in your bedroom, just vibing by yourself. And then you open up your door, and then you have someone from, like, I don't know, Japan walks into the room, and they're like, oh, cool game. And then you have someone from Belgium walks into the room as well, and they're like, oh man, this seems like a fun place to hang out, and then like pops a squad on your bed. And then you have someone from Canada like, hey man, I'm here to hang out too. And then it just keeps like growing. More and more people from all over the world, different locations with their own languages and their own, you know, their own way of like communicating with you and everything is just really cool to me. I got a huge room, right? Right? But yeah, dude, it's the greatest thing. I love it. One of my favorite things is like once in a while I'll ask. In fact, if you guys want to lay it on me right now, let me know where you're watching from. You don't have to be specific as far as, you know, like your hometown and stuff like that. But seriously, let me know where you're from. Let me know where you're watching from. Vampire Survivors didn't really interest me, but the more vivid art style here really makes me want to try the game. Hope the casters are fun. I'm using a caster right now, Rioting Rags. It's a Chaos caster. I've got Chaotic Missile, Chaos Bolts, and now Light Beam. The spells that you get are a very good time. They're actually some of my favorites. The guy I'm playing right now is focused on Chaos, and then there's another one called the Elementalist that focuses on, you know, elemental stuff like frost and electricity and stuff like that. It's very fun too. A very good time. I love the casters in this very much. They're so fun. I would say that I do enjoy Vampire Survivors a lot, but I do think this is actually a little better, personally. Watching from your corner? Nice. Nice. All right, I'm ready for another question.
All right, Avalanche 24. Any plan to play Ghost of I can't say it.
Ghost of Tsushima. So I have played a little bit of the game before, but I've never finished it because it's something where every time I go to play it, something bad happens in real life for me. So I just avoided playing the game again after my third attempt at actually getting through it. That is something that I would like to do. What I think I'm going to do with Ghost of Tsushima specifically is I'm going to wait a while, and when I do play it, it's going to be at a time where it either gets released on PC or if I'm just really in the mood for it, and I'm going to do like a video series on it. Instead of doing it live, I'll do a video series on it, so that way, you know, more people will be able to see it and watch it on their own time. It'll be something that I don't have to worry about on stream so much. It was one of those circumstances I just never actually got through the game in a very odd way. And I would like to because I love the gameplay. I was playing it on Lethal, and it was a very good time. I loved it. I need to actually get through it, though. That's the hard part.
All right. Matt wants to know if you think of yourself as an artist.
Not really. I mean, as far as like entertainment goes, I mean, I just am who I am, and I play video games and have a good time doing it and sharing the experience with a bunch of other people, you know? Like, I've never considered myself much more than just a guy sitting in a dark room playing video games. You know, that's what it's always been for me, and I don't really know if I'll ever be able to break that mindset, because that's, even when things are going well, that's still what I'm doing. I'm the same guy now as I was when I first started streaming over on Twitch, you know, 6 years ago. So to me, it's all the same, man. It really is. I don't know how else to explain it. It's just, that is what it is.
Okay. Elgernon.
Yeah, go ahead.
Sorry. Elgernon says, favorite party member in gaming? It's down to Morden versus Rex for me.
Dude, I was going to say Morden is pretty high up there for me. So I like the little like nerdy flair that Tali, Garrus, and Morden all have in their own directions. Specifically, Garrus and Tali are very good when it comes to engineering, and then Morden being like the hyper intelligent scientist that he is, right? Those three, as far as like party members go, I always think of Mass Effect 2 in this regard. Those three have always been like my top party members, and I use them most of the time whenever I do play the game. So for me, I've got to say, let's go with the common ground of Morden Solus. I honestly think he's one of the best characters in Mass Effect anyway. So I think that just kind of makes sense to me. But let's agree on Morden. Thane is Bay. Thane is good. Thane is good. Don't get me wrong. I just think Morden's a little better for me personally. Robert, thank you for the $2 super chat. What's the worst game you have ever played? I don't truly know, but I can tell you the worst game that I've played recently is Dolmen. I don't know about the worst game I've ever played in my life, because I've played so many thousands of games, man. But I can definitely say the last game that really made me feel bad that I played it was definitely Dolmen. I wish I didn't even look at that game. Like, that game really upset me a lot. That, like, a lot of you guys probably remember that stream. That game actually pissed me off. That game made me angry. Thank you for the 2, man. Josh, thank you for the $2 super chat. Watching from Arizona, digging the Q&A. I'm glad you're enjoying your time here, man. Thanks for joining me. Thanks for hanging out with me, and thank you for the 2, Josh. Berserker Guts with 4 months of membership. No, Ghost of Tsushima must be streamed. By the way, I'm from Omen. Very cool. We'll see what happens. Maybe I will stream it. It just depends, because I like to prioritize new games first. I love experiencing new games with everyone the day they come out. You know, like that's one of my favorite things to do. I love that. We'll see what happens, though. If we can find like a window of opportunity where there's like not a new game and there's not going to be a new game for a while or something, then we can do it then. We'll see what happens. Thank you for 4 months of membership, dude. And then Brittany becoming a member as well. Brittany Warren, thank you so much. I really appreciate it. Thank you for becoming a member. Hope you enjoy your emotes. Thank you for hanging out with me again today. You guys see how chaotic this gets? This is only a few minutes in. It's already harder than the first one I did. Thank you guys all for the generosity there. Thank you for hanging out with me during the Q&A today. Oh, we gotta get Chaos Golems. These guys are nuts. I have to trade something out for this. Let me lose Chaos Bolt. We basically now get a summon, a couple summons. They just run around and punch shit, man. They're very good. They're very good. Okay, I'm good for another question.
Anna wants to know how much you love me.
How much I love you?
Yes.
I mean, I did marry you. We've been together for 14 years?
Almost.
Yeah. We've been together a long time. I'm going to be honest with you, dude. I wouldn't still be here if I wasn't having a good time. I'm that type. I'm not going to pretend like I'm not going to fake it, you know? So I'd say quite a bit. Yeah. Quite a bit.
He's all right.
Yeah, I'm okay, I guess.
This next one's not a question. Chris Mantzios? He just says hi.
Hi. Hey, Chris. Hope you're doing well, dude.
Broku wants to know if Dami Mommy is ever making a comeback.
Okay, so Dami Mommy is from our Whips only playthrough of Elden Ring. I don't know if there's ever a reason to, like, say if DLC comes out and there's like a really cool whip that's added, we can, you know, load her up for it. That could be cool. Outside of that, I've got a couple other characters that would make more sense for like a DLC playthrough. So those would be the focus when it comes to the DLC. Specifically my character, my Dragon Communion Warrior. Or I'm sorry, my Dragon Warrior in general with Mirai's Executioner's Sword and all that stuff. That'll be the #1 character that I use when it comes to new content in Elden Ring.
All right. Matt wants to know how we met. I can tell that.
Yeah, if you want to tell it, go ahead.
Sure. They don't get to hear it from my perspective very often.
That's true.
So, way back in the day, when the dinosaurs roamed the earth in 2009, I worked at a truck stop, and I was getting ready for an overnight, and this group of like rowdy dudes come in and get some drinks, and they go over to the restaurant. That
Rowdy.
was not really rowdy. I was waiting for that reaction. This group of the dudes walk in, they get some drinks, they go over to the restaurant that's next door, and they hang out. And while they're walking over, I was rubbernecking around the corner going, did you see the short one? Like, did you see him? And we kind of made eye contact. Well, he came over and bought like 4 green teas he'd buy one like every, 20 minutes? And then he'd go pee and then get another one just so we could flirt. And fast forward, oh goodness, a couple months, and he comes in again, and we actually introduce ourselves to each other really awkwardly, like shaking hands over the counter. And it was great. And later that night, I get home and I have a message on, ready for it? MySpace. And he goes, I think it was almost word for word, "Hey, I'm not trying to be a creeper, but I recognized your tattoo." And I'm like, okay, what's your number? And we kind of started texting there, and one thing led to another. I ended up moving in within a month-ish, maybe 2 months.
Yeah, we moved really fast.
But we didn't get married for another 4 years, so we moved in fast, but we didn't do everything super fast. Like,
yeah, it's true.
But yeah, so we met at my work, and poor guy's been stuck with me ever since.
Yeah, flawless
tattoo?
execution. Thanks, man. Thanks, bud.
Yeah. All right, next question. Richard Cole, I'm currently making spaghetti. What is your favorite type of food?
Dude, I'm super basic. I enjoy like pizza and burgers, as most Americans do, but I do have a major love for pumpkin pie, as well as I do enjoy a nice baked ziti. If I'm going for pasta, like 90% of the time, it's got to be baked ziti. I love that so much. So good. So good.
And it's so easy to make.
Enjoy your pasta, man.
I love when you ask for baked ziti, because it's so simple and it's so good. All right, Chris, I'm sorry, I really can't say your last name. Matzios, he wants to know what your favorite game is.
Okay, so my favorite game is often dependent on my mood. I have a lot of different answers for that, depending on what I'm actually in the mood for. If I want to play something like hardcore, then I generally go for like Stalker. I love Stalker, and I cannot wait for Stalker 2. I'm so excited, and I'm very sad about events happening over in Eastern Europe, because it's very much so delayed the release of that. And I know that's very selfish to say. I'm aware of that, but obviously I hope everyone, I hope the struggles with all that do end sooner rather than later, because it's been quite awful to watch. But, I'm a big fan of Stalker. If I want to play something that involves a lot of PvP, then I generally go for like League of Legends or Escape from Tarkov. And then if I'm in the mood for an RPG, then I often will default to Dragon Age Origins, Mass Effect 2, Baldur's Gate, Knights of the Old Republic. I haven't actually done a Jade Empire playthrough in a long time, and I need to, because I love that game as well. Jade Empire is a great martial arts based RPG, by the way, and it's worth your time checking out. Very, very good. So my favorite game is very dependent on my mood. I know that's weird to say, but it's like I don't have one universal best game that I can pick up and play whenever. It just depends on what video game mood I am in. And like, for example, as well, if I want something that's like a Souls-like, then I often go for Bloodborne. Bloodborne would be my favorite in that regard. Even though I've played Elden Ring a lot more, it's just been the most recent one, I would play Elden Ring a lot less if Bloodborne were newer, for example. If that makes sense. My damage is not very good on this character right now. Starting to feel that crunch. Stalker, such great games. Remember when the first came out and the lighting was so great, you could see the fire shine through the windows from the outside. It was wild for the time. Yeah, dude, it was beyond stellar. I don't even remember what my PC specs were back then, but it could barely handle the game at like 20 FPS. And actually that game made me upgrade my PC for the first time ever. Yeah, it was that game, Badger, that got me to upgrade for the first time ever. I was doing all sorts of like lawn work for the neighbors, and winter came and I was shoveling driveways and sidewalks just to save up for PC parts. But I wanted to play Stalker so bad at higher frame rates, so I did it, man. And when I was there, I was so damn happy. What's up, Shark? What's up, Rich? How we doing, guys? All right, I'm ready for another question.
All right. Seriously, Nas, what was Josh's worst job or the one with the most growth? Puns intended.
Okay,
what's your worst job?
My worst job?
Yep.
My worst job was definitely my first job. I worked at a place. I don't want to say the name because I think they're pretty local to where I grew up. But basically, it was a distribution center for local restaurants and fast food places. And I only worked 4 days a week, but the shifts would be anywhere from 3 hours to like 16 hours. And when I say that the average was well over 10 hours, like my average shift was over 10 hours, I mean my average shift was like 11, 12 hours most of the time. Mostly because there would always be someone calling in, and the place was always so short staffed that if one person called in, everyone had to like split up that load. And if it was during like any type of busy day whatsoever, that meant that basically 4 people would have to spread out another 12-hour shift between us, so we'd all get 3 extra hours on top of us. It was freaking awful when I tell you, because not only was it like very long shifts, but it was extremely physical stuff. Literally lifting hundreds of thousands of pounds of product every single day. Every single shift. It was not only was it stressful because you were on a time crunch because it had to be done before the truck had to leave to the restaurant to make the delivery on time the next day, but also we were very much so taken advantage of and working extra shifts constantly. It was god awful. God awful, dude. Okay, we actually completed that one too. You see how much more chaotic that one was than the first one though, guys? Now, there is a way to basically run multiple levels together. I don't know how to actually do it, but I think it's random. I want to say it's pretty random that it happens, but it goes into what's called endless mode. And after you complete one stage, it'll be able to teleport you to another stage. Kind of hoping that happens for us soon. What was your shittiest and most growth job? I was going for a fertilizer plant. Oh, yes. Yeah, when I was making animal repellents. Yeah, I worked there. That job sucked, but it was also great at the same time. It was one of those, you know? Yeah, Nas, I worked in the freezer for a while. I also worked in the dry side. The freezer was awful, though. It was -40. Ugh, -40, and you had to run around, and then you'd have to deal with the temperature change when you went back out of the freezer to whatever room temperature was at the time. It was, you know, if you weren't in the freezer, there was no like air conditioning at all. So if it was middle of summer, you were going from like -40 to 100 plus Fahrenheit in a matter of seconds. And when I tell you that would make your head spin, it made your head spin, dude. It was awful. Let me tell you, people got sick all the time because of that stuff. Terrible, terrible, terrible. All right, now that we did that with the Chaos Walker, let's do a summon. Let's play the Necromancer. You guys know I enjoy necromancy in video games. My name was Necro over on Twitch because I enjoy necromancy. My starting skill is Skeletal Warriors. Summon 3 Skeletal Warriors to fight for you. A maximum of 12 units can be active at any time. The cooldown is 20 seconds. Let's do it. Let's do a summon run. Let's do a summon run. We're going to do something that I haven't completed yet. That one goes all the way up to 4. Holy. Let's do Frozen Wastelands, tier 2. I'm also going to see about trying to get the Chaos Golems, so that way we can just summon stuff like crazy. Get them, boys! Rich, thank you for the £1.79. How many inches of pizza could you handle at once? You know, I generally go for like a 12er, you know? I kind of like to go for the 12ers, dude. Them large pies, you know what I'm saying? Rich, thank you for the £1.79, dude. I appreciate the generosity. Thank you very much. Yeah, Badger. Yeah, dude. I'm glad you stopped by, man. Glad you stopped by. I'm ready for another question.
All right. Potato wants to know, what do you like to do when you are not playing? Do you like to watch TV shows?
I'm generally not big on TV. It's very rare that I'll sit and like watch something. I've just never been big on watching television. If I'm not streaming and playing games, oftentimes I'm off stream playing games as well. And if I'm not doing either of those, then I'm either doing nothing at all and just relaxing, or I'll be doing something along the lines of like reading or even listening to an audiobook sometimes too. I love reading and listening to sci-fi stuff, so that's a thing that I often go for there too. It's not very often that I do it these days, but a lot of it's because I'm very into achievement hunting as well. And so, you know, that kind of introduces me to a lot more video games too.
All right. JM17 wants to know if this is a similar game to Risk of Rain.
So it's got the roguelite idea where you need to survive and keep going as long as you can. Yes. In this case, obviously there is an end to the stage, but when you get to endless mode, I think you have to complete it in a certain amount of time in order to activate endless mode. But generally speaking, it's the same premise. You just got to survive as long as you can against increasingly stronger enemies, and you find like random gear that makes you stronger with different abilities and different passive stuff. So yeah, it's pretty much the same idea. Audiobook recommendations, just like Spellbound said in chat, Hyperion and Fall of Hyperion. The whole Hyperion Canthos is amazing, because then you have Endymion that comes up after that as well, and it's very, very good. From there, the whole Dune franchise is good, and then something that I can recommend everybody read or listen to if you like audiobooks would be the Foundation series. The Foundation series is actually the same universe as the iRobot universe. iRobot actually evolves into Foundation. iRobot is like a prequel by several thousands of years before all of that happens, so that's something I can very much so recommend checking out as well. It's such a wonderful story. Very, very deep and thorough and just very well done. Very well written. Incredible stuff. Chaos Golem. Oh, baby, we've got him. Now we got skeletons and golems running around. We're a true necromancer.
All right, this next question's a little deep. What was your lowest moment as a streamer where you were emotionally in the most difficult space?
Okay, so I have two answers for this. The first one is soon after I went full-time streaming. You guys know, a lot of you guys used to watch me back then. I used to play a lot of Battlefield, and back then Battlefield 1 had actually gotten my channel to a point where it could be partnered on Twitch. So my channel was doing very, very well. We were growing at a great pace and everything. And then when Battlefield 5 came out, even though I was playing Battlefield 5, viewership was still going down. And so that actually devastated my mental for a long time. That was something that, even though it was a new game in the same franchise that everyone knew my channel for, because of the overall reception of the game, even though my content was continually getting better and better over time, it was something that people just did not have interest in the game, unfortunately. And so that happened just as I went full-time streaming, and that destroyed my mental. I was like, oh god, this isn't working out already. We did salvage it and everything, but still, it was rough at the time, man. It was pretty tough. And then the next one was when I was playing Warzone, I was in the upper echelons of, you know, wins and kill death ratio and overall skill level to be shown for the game, and my streams were still not doing great at the time. There was no growth to be had, despite all of the skill I was portraying, not to mention being told all the time that my streams are quality and stuff. It just wasn't working out then too. And it got to a point where I actually got really burned out, and I was actually pretty close to giving up streaming at that point. It's it messed me up. It messed me up in a big way. I think I remember I actually took a few days off, and then in that few days off, I decided that I was no longer going to play multiplayer stuff on stream. I started focusing on single player stuff. And that's actually around the same time that I started uploading a lot more YouTube content, as many of you will recall. I started uploading a lot of YouTube content at that time. I started experimenting with live streams and everything, and my channel on YouTube was actually started doing better than my Twitch channel did pretty rapidly. And so that was kind of why I moved. Kind of want Shadow Nova because it heals my summons, so I'll replace Lightning Bolt with it. What type of game is this? If you know of Vampire Survivors, it's very similar to that. It's just got its own take on different abilities and stuff like that. Obviously, its own unique graphics. Very much so like Vampire Survivors. It's a roguelite where you just have to survive as long as you can against growing, increasing numbers and toughness of enemies. Okay, I'm good for another question.
Alrighty. Let's see. Ooh, I don't know if I'm gonna pronounce this. Eliason?
Eliason.
Eliason. Okay. What's your favorite platform?
So I generally go for PC. Most games, specifically if they're first person, I enjoy using keyboard and mouse. If I'm playing an FPS or any first person game in general, then I prefer keyboard and mouse for it. And so that's generally why I like the platform, but also it's a matter of I have the capability of putting a PC together and having a PC, and so I can get that little bit of better performance out of games than I can get on console with it. And so if I have that capability, why not do it? I generally do not care so much for platform, though. I'm not some platform elitist by any means. I have every platform you can think of. I've got a Switch, I've got a PS5, I've got an Xbox Series X, and of course my PC that I'm on right now. So realistically, I'm not really picky. I'll play on whatever, but my preferred peripherals for first-person games are keyboard and mouse. Outside of that, I can use a controller for pretty much anything else. But I'll still probably play it on PC if I have the opportunity to. Where's the boss? There he is.
All right, Jen has a very serious question. What question do you want to be asked?
How come no one's asking how I'm doing today? Jen, it's good to see you here in chat again. Thanks for hanging out with us today, dude.
All right, Ween Mist. Would it be possible to have a budget tier for $1.99 like many other people do? Also, hi, wife. Hi.
Say that one more time.
Would it be possible to have a budget tier for $1.99 like many other people do?
I mean, I could do that if that's something that people really want. Like, if there's like a lot of people that do want that, then we can talk about it. I'm down to talk about that as a community. If you would rather have that, if you would become a member, if I were to do that, then we can talk about it there. But the issue with this is like, you guys know that I'm not a greedy person. I'm not a greedy person at all. But it comes down to, if I start moving things downward, then people are going to they're going to ask, like, why did you get rid of the other tier? I would have supported you for more. And then it comes down to, like, well, if you're going to have the lower option, I'm just going to support the lowest option. And that's cool too. But it comes down to, like, if there's too many options, then there's always going to be someone unhappy about it. So what I'll probably do is just remove, say, the $5 and the $25 option, and then make like a $2 option, a $5 option, and then like an $8 or a $10 option. You know what I mean? I'm down to talk about that though. Just not right now, obviously, but we can talk about that more in the near future. Otherwise, the thing is too is like, I've had this happen as well when I was streaming over on Twitch. When they added more tiers, a lot of people were like, well, I'm just not going to become like a... It got to a point where people were like, I'm just going to go for the highest option because I want to support you in the biggest way when, you know, I would really prefer, if anything, like, if you are going to become like a member or a subscriber in that way, then just do what's comfortable for you, not what you think I deserve. You know, like, that's always a concern with me. Like, I don't want people putting themselves out, like, especially with the, you know, current economic status of the world, you know, like, do what's comfortable for you, if at all. Like, that's always my biggest concern. We'll talk about that more next stream, though.
All right, Elgranon has another question. Favorite game you've played on stream this year outside of Elden Ring?
Favorite game I played on stream this year outside of Elden Ring? So what all have I streamed? I've played things like Thymesia, Dolmen, Returnal, played God of War. God of War was a good time. What else have I played, guys? We did play a little bit of Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles when that came out. That was fun. What else have I played? Stray was good. Yes, Stray was awesome. Resident Evil 7 and 8 and the new DLC for 8 were really fun as well. Honestly, guys, I think I have to give it to Resident Evil. I have to give it to Resident Evil. I do. I just remembered. I know we played them not too long ago. Resident Evil specifically was just a very good time. Kind of playing something with some horror aspect was a pleasant surprise to how fun it was to experience that alongside you guys. That was really great. In fact, it has really opened up my eyes as to like streaming more horror stuff on stream when it releases. As well as I do want to play Alien Isolation again sometime too, so that'll likely be a thing we play on stream at some point. I just don't know when yet. So yeah, Resident Evil for me, for sure. That was such a blast, dude. Resident Evil 7 and 8 are such good games. Very happy to have played them again. Or well, specifically playing 8 again. It was my first time for 7, but it was very fun. Elgranon, thank you for 5 gifted members to the community, dude. Holy heck, man. Thank you for the generosity. You guys show some love to Elgranon and the new non-cult members, yeah? Thank you, dude. Thank you.
All right, Jeff Gagne asks, well, he says, I feel like when we met, you were living in New York. Did you guys move or did I dream about it?
No, we definitely moved. I did live in New York. That's where I grew up. Lived there for the majority of my life, and we just moved down to Tennessee a few years ago. If you remember Prophet on Fire, who is now Fireborn, and Daz, we all live, like me and Daz actually live together, and then Fireborn lives like 10 minutes away from us. So we moved down here to be closer together. We actually met through Battlefield, specifically Battlefield 1. We all streamed, and we became very, very, very close friends through all of that. And we actually discussed this specifically. Me and Daz discussed this while walking down the street in Stockholm, going to get some food. We were going to meet up for dinner with everyone while we were there for the Battlefield 5 event. And it was such a good time being there. And like, we realized how close of friends we were. And we're like, dude, maybe one day we can like be neighbors or something. And then Daz was like, yo, I bought a house in Tennessee. You want to come live with me? So I was like, yes. And so we moved down to Tennessee, and here we are now. We all live together and very close to one another. We're all still very close. So yeah, you did not imagine that. That's very real, and that happened just a few years ago. What is my crit rate? 45? Okay. You can see that my summons are doing most of the work here. I'm just running around spraying poison at people as a necromancer does. You know? Yeah.
All right. El Profeta Delphin. They want to know, what is your top 3 best games?
Again, so hard for me to answer, but I'll give you my top 3 games right now. My favorite game at the moment, I'm almost always in the mood for it, is Elden Ring. Right now, currently, Elden Ring. Next up, dude, I've been having a blast playing Vampire Survivors and now this. So right now, these are pretty high tier for me, as well as I've been very into Monster Hunter. I just completed the main story of Monster Hunter last night, and now I'm on to kind of grinding out for some better gear before I hop over to play Iceborne. Working on getting all the achievements out of that game has been tough as hell too. That game has quite the grind to it, but it's been fun. Those are my top games at the moment. This game that I'm playing right now is an absolute blast and way more fun than I ever imagined it would be. But I'm also very much so into roguelikes and roguelite games, so I guess it adds up for me, you know? These games always kind of go under the radar. Once you get into it, man, it's so damn good. Games like this are great. Those are my top games at the moment, right now in this time.
All right, Potato. This isn't really a question. It just says controller emoji, heart, controller emoji, BR. Maybe they want you to play a BR. Richard.
Generally, that means Brazilian, or Brazil. So maybe they're from Brazil. That's cool.
I don't know. But yeah, either way, cool. Thank you. Richard Cole wants to know what kinds or types of books do you like to read?
I'm big on sci-fi stuff. Like I mentioned earlier, one of my favorite things in the world to read is the Hyperion Canthos, as well as the Foundation series. Those two are probably my favorite things that I've ever read in my life. I love them so much. They're so good. I also enjoy the first couple books of Dune quite a bit. And then, things like The Moon is a Harsh Mistress is pretty good. A whole bunch of Kurt Vonnegut stuff, Slaughterhouse-5 and all that. He's pretty good at what he does. And then there's a lot of, who's the author that did Do Androids Dream of Electric Sheep? There's a whole bunch of short stories involved with that guy as well that I very much so enjoy too.
Cool. All right. Brittany Warren wants to know what the top 5 musicians you listen to while streaming solo.
Oh, musicians while streaming solo.
Or playing solo.
No, playing solo, yeah. So I go for metal. I'm a big metalhead. If I'm playing video games and listening to music at the same time, the music I'm going to listen to is often going to be Gojira, Ginger, Trivium,
Spirit Box?
No, they're up there, but I'm gonna go more for Arch Enemy and then probably In Flames. Yeah. Era's pretty good, but I've only discovered them pretty recently, to be fair. Are we done with this level? I guess we are. We completed the level, guys. We did it with the summons. But it says only return through the portal, so we did not complete this fast enough. I think in order to really get to the endless mode, we have to complete it in a certain amount of time. Want God of War? Soon we'll be getting some God of War. I'm very excited. What's up, Nimrod? How's it going? McDanian as well. Good to see you guys. What's up, Lewis? Hey, Terry. Again, dudes, if you would like to enter your questions at the top of chat, you'll see a little highlighted and blue and white pinned message at the top. You can click on the button that says Ask Question there, and it'll enter it into a list so my wife will read it off to me. So if you really want your questions answered, make sure you enter it in there, okay? It's the best way because this game is very chaotic and hard to focus on chat with, and so that'll be the best way for you to get your questions seen.
But be patient because there are quite a few questions in there.
Yeah, just be patient and we'll get through them,
Mm-hmm.
Let's try the Legionnaire. I've never played this guy. Let's try the Legionnaire. Let's see how it goes. All right, I've got level 2 done for all of them. Let's do 3rd level on this one, see how it goes. With the Legionnaire. Oh, wow, that thrust has some range. Okay, I'm good for another question.
Cole, is it Quelker? When did you realize that you should have moved from Twitch sooner?
Man, I thought that within the first few days of moving to YouTube. It's like, trust me when I say it's not like I dislike Twitch or anything that Twitch did for me. Twitch made me realize there's a whole world of people out there that are interested in not only playing video games, but kind of experiencing video games of all sorts together, right? And so that was something that I learned to appreciate by being on Twitch for as long as I was. But if I had known that I could reach a larger audience like YouTube has offered me, I would have done this many years ago. When it came to streaming, and even now when it comes to streaming, a lot of people will by default go to Twitch. It's just how it is. A lot of people will just instantly think of Twitch and they'll only watch streams on Twitch. However, I do believe the times are changing, and YouTube streams, specifically the live side of YouTube, is only getting larger and larger by the day. Specifically this last year for YouTube live streams has been immense. And so I just kind of, I do wish that I did things sooner, but I am entirely extremely grateful for all of my time that I spent on Twitch at the same time. I streamed there all the time for 6 years. And honestly, I'm grateful for that. I'm generally not the type of person where I think about what I could have done better so much as I am interested in applying what I've known to become better in the future, if that makes sense. I dwell more on what's to come more than what has already happened. And that's kind of what has allowed me to become better at streaming and kind of applying what I have going on into like a realistic format. So while I do wish I moved sooner on one hand, on the other, I'm very grateful for the time that I spent on Twitch because I learned so much. In fact, I would say that if it wasn't for my time on Twitch, I might not actually have what I have now on YouTube. So it kind of just worked out, T-Morts, thank you for the 2 Australian, man. Hi, Josh. Hi, wife. Hey, bud. Hope you're doing great today. Thank you for the 2 spot. That's very kind of you, dude. Thank you. Also, guys, listen, I know that this game is not the type of usual game that I play on stream, but I appreciate you guys coming by to hang out with me anyway. It means a lot that you spend some time with me here. I truly appreciate it. Hope you guys are having a good weekend, and thank you for spending some time with me.
All right, Alan wants to know if I'm ever going to play Elden Ring. That's probably a big fat no, because I have anger issues and I don't want to break my PC.
She doesn't generally play action adventure games like that anyway. So
not like that. Like, I like adventure games, but like not one where you're going to die. No matter what you do, you're gonna die. I'm good. Yeah. Next question is from Mr. Nate. Hey Josh, while playing off stream alone, do you ever have anything playing in the background like a stream, podcast, etc.? I find it hard to play certain games without something else going on.
It depends. So when I first started watching streams was actually I was in a circumstance where I was playing games and I did want to check out what other people were doing in the same games that I was playing at the same time. So namely, I would watch people like Lyric back in the Justin.tv days as well. Hell, I even watch him once in a great while now. Lyric is one of my all-time favorites. And I've watched him for many thousands of hours alongside, like I'll play games alongside him as well as just kind of watching him to watch him, just kind of doing his thing, So I guess the answer to that is sometimes. Yeah, sometimes. I'll generally watch some streams depending on what's going on. Most of the time lately, I've been just kind of doing my own thing. But if I am in the mood for it, then I'll definitely like watch Lyric or something while I play a game. Hey, Tatface, hope you're doing well too, man. Good to see you.
All right, Joshua Meadows says, considering the massive success you've had on YouTube, where do you see your channel in 1 year and then 5 years from now?
Well, hopefully, things continue going well. Pretty much just going to keep doing what I'm already doing, and hopefully I get to maintain it in a way that's, forward momentum. even if you know, I'm not the type of guy where I just like, oh my god, I need millions of subscribers and stuff. As long as I get to, you know, hang out with people and play video games and kind of experience it all together with everyone, then I'm pretty happy. I guess I'm just in a position now where everything is just kind of working out, and I guess it's a little bit of imposter syndrome. I don't always feel like it's something that I deserve. It's just like I'm just kind of here for the ride at the moment, and I'm only hoping that people will continue to come by and hang out with me while I check out different games, and we can experience them together in a healthy way. You know? That just kind of having cool people to hang out with while video games are happening on screen. That's all I've really ever wanted. And we have that now, so I'm just going to kind of keep it going, you know? I can say that obviously if the channel keeps growing, then I'll be very grateful for that. You know, like that's something that I can definitely say that I will embrace wholeheartedly. I will never say no to being able to grow my channel further. Like that's just the coolest thing in the world to me. Just because we get more people from all over the world hanging out with us and experiencing these games together at the same time. Like that's the dream. As far as 5 years from now, yeah, I don't even know, man. I can barely think a year ahead of my life right now, let alone 5. I'm very much so in the now, you know? Very much so in the now. I really haven't thought about it all that much, man. Aside from that, you know, one day hope to be able to buy my own house in the area. That'd be cool. That'd be nice to have. Working on that, I guess. It's only imposter syndrome if you took over the real Josh's life, and you did? Shit. They're on to me. They're on to me.
All right, Broku wants to know if you could get a remaster or a new title in a video game franchise, what would it be?
Bloodborne. I have 2 answers to that: Bloodborne and Jade Empire. I would love a Bloodborne, specifically just Bloodborne at 60 frames would be great. It doesn't even need a full remaster, just 60 frames. Like that would be glorious all by itself. And then Jade Empire. I would love to see Jade Empire with current graphical fidelity. Jade Empire is a wonderful, I mentioned it earlier too, it's a great RPG that I feel like a lot of people would enjoy as well, but they won't play it because the graphics have not aged well. It's something that I can say that if you play it, you'll love it. It's really good. It's really, really good. But a lot of people will avoid it because graphical fidelity. Unfortunately, but that's, you know, that's the truth. That's the reality of it. Bloodborne. Yes, had to yell out Bloodborne right away. But honestly, just I would love to see Bloodborne with more going on too. That'd be great. I would love that. Honestly surprised that hasn't happened yet, but you know, we are where we are.
Alrighty, Ian Carlson asks, if streaming had existed in your childhood, what game would you have streamed?
If streaming existed in my childhood, so a game that stands out to me a lot in my childhood is Fable 1. I would say Jade Empire would probably see some light as well, but honestly, I'd probably do a whole bunch of runs of Stalker, as well as Baldur's Gates and Knights of the Old Republic. I'd probably do what I do with those games that I do now with Elden Ring, where I just kind of focus on different ways of playing through these games. I would do like different builds and just see how they work out throughout the gameplay and see how they're applied. Specifically, that would be really great with Baldur's Gates, but it could also work with Knights of the Old Republic. It would work with Jade Empire for a few things, and I mean, realistically, it would work with Fable as well because you have the 3 different types of fighting everything there too. You have melee, ranged, and magic, so you could do different runs with those too. And that's probably what I would do. It'd be very similar content to what I do now, but also Final Fantasy 12. I played Final Fantasy 12 a little bit late, but I can say that Final Fantasy 12, if I had discovered it a little bit earlier, would have been really great to stream as well, because there's a lot of different ways you can build in that game too. That would have been fun to do too. Rich, thank you for the 10 pounds, man. A cool 10, it says. A hot 10. Thank you for the 10, man. I appreciate it. It's very nice. Thank you, dude. Thank you. I appreciate the generosity, dude.
All right, Matt wants to know, what does success look like to you? When do you think you'll feel like you've really made it?
Dude, I'm already there. Like I said, the day that I switched to YouTube, I went from averaging like 30 to 80 viewers to several hundred. And to me, we've already made it. That's what success looks like for me. I have a very base definition of it myself, where I'm happy playing video games to an audience that enjoys what I do. That's all I've wanted, like I said, and that's what I have now. I'm very pleased. I just, hopefully we can continue to grow it from here, so that way you just kind of, larger outreach to more people and stuff. But I've said it before and I'll say it again, guys. I'm not going to sit here and play things on stream that I don't enjoy. I never have since moving to YouTube, and I never will. I've done it on Twitch just because, it was trying out different things and feeling burnt out and stuff like that. Just kind of had to do what I had to do to figure out what it is that I wanted to do. But right now, what we have going on, I'm very happy with. I could not be happier when it comes to content creation at the moment, especially when we have so many great games on the horizon. Think about this. We have God of War in a few days. We have Callisto Protocol coming out next month, which I'm a big fan of Dead Space, so having Callisto Protocol is very much so in line with me. We have the Dead Space remake happening, Resident Evil 4 remake. We've got Wo Long Fallen Dynasty. High on Life looks great. Wild Hearts, I am so very excited for, and I really hope that that game is everything that I hope it is. I might be hyping it up a little bit much, but that's on me. I'm just very excited for the future of games and being able to share that with so many people. I just hope that people kind of give the games a chance, so that way, they can realize that the games I'm sharing with everyone are from a place and a perspective of, I just want to share the experience with others. Yeah, that's pretty much it, man. I feel like I'm already there. But yeah, that's pretty much it, man. I feel like I'm already pretty happy. What am I streaming between God of War, or now and God of War release? So I'm doing this right now, doing a live Q&A. Oh, laser beams. And playing this game. And then I'm going to have, I'm taking the next few days off. I will not be live on stream until God of War comes out. Just because, I don't want to start anything major in between now and then and really have to so one of the things that I don't like is when it comes to streaming, if I don't finish a game live on stream, then people are like, why didn't you finish that? Why didn't you finish that? Why didn't you finish that? What the heck? Why didn't you finish that? Where is it? Where is it? Bring it back. And so I just kind of, if I start something between now and God of War, that's going to become an expectation for a lot of people, and I just don't want to do that. So I'm just kind of holding off. Just going to take a few days off, relax, get ready, and then when God of War drops, we'll be all over it like crazy. You know what I mean? I think it's a healthier way to tackle it, so that way it's within everyone's expectations. Hey, May, hope you're doing great. Good to see you today. Plus, it'll give me an opportunity to kind of get caught up on chores and chilling with wife while she's got some time off from work, and then just kind of otherwise playing video games in my own time. Kind of getting my mental in a better state. Because, I do stream a lot, but it's one of those things where when you do stream a lot, you kind of become a shut-in a little bit. You lose perspective of everything else going on in the world. You just kind of block the rest of the world out. And so once in a while, taking a few days off will definitely help me realign that. I don't really like this build I have going on, by the way. This is not doing enough damage fast enough. There's still 4 more bosses, and I just feel like I'm not going to be able to keep up with them.
So our next question comes from Mr. Rich Joke. If you could only play one, Callisto Protocol or the Dead Space remake?
Oh, that's tough. So I'm a big fan of Dead Space, so I think I would have to say Dead Space remake. But knowing that the Callisto Protocol is coming from a lot of people that made the first Dead Space game has me extremely excited for it. But because I already know that I love Dead Space and I'm very excited to see that game in a higher graphical fidelity, I think I have to say that one. As much as I am excited for the new Callisto Protocol, I think it would have to be Dead Space remake. Just because I already know and love it so much. Dead Space is my favorite horror video gaming experience I've ever had. And so I kind of have to default to that. Yeah, for sure. Yep, that's what I would do. Dead Space remake, 100%.
All right, next one is from Scrimma. If it was life or death and you had to pick one game to stream and one game only for the next 5 years, what would it be?
One game for the next 5 years. Probably Elden Ring. I know I've already played Elden Ring a bunch, but if I had to continue playing it, I'm still not sick of the game. I could definitely, like, I could see myself playing that for a long while still. But the reason being is, like, there's so many different things you could do in Elden Ring that just kind of give it so much replayability. I know by the end of that 5 years, I'd be extremely bored by it. But I think about it like this. I've already done so many different playthroughs with different types of weapons. I even repeated the daggers once. I could do a lot of repeats of different playthroughs, as well as I can do different themed playthroughs like we did with, oh, what did we play as? It wasn't a Crucible Knight. We played as Sir Gideon Ofnir. I could actually do a lot of, like, cosplay playthroughs of other NPCs. We could do, like, Soldier of Godric. We could do Crucible Knight. We could do Ancient Hero of Zamor. We could do, Red Main Knights. We could do like a Melania playthrough, you know? Like, there's so many different things you could do in that game. Not to mention the PvP and co-op aspects that we could do as well. Plus all the modded experiences on PC. You have the Ascended mod that we did. You've got the randomizers. And if I were to play Elden Ring for nothing but Elden Ring for 5 years as well, I could definitely see myself trying to do like no death runs, level 1 runs, maybe even attempting to like tone up for like a no-hit run, you know? That is the beauty of Souls-like games like that, is there's so many different things you could do. That's what offers them so much replayability. It's kind of crazy, the possibilities that you have there with those. Yeah, this damage is not great. I'm gonna die. Well, there's only 2 bosses left. We might actually survive. There's only 2 bosses left, guys. And they're about to spawn in 70 enemies.
All right, our next question comes from Chris Mancios again. Where are you from?
So, I grew up in New York. My father was in the Army, and so I was born in Hawaii because that's where he was stationed. Him and my mom lived there for a few years. And then they actually are from New York as well, so we moved back to New York after he left the Army. And then, yeah, lived in New York for most of my life. I'm 34, almost 35, and I lived in New York until I was 31, so if that gives you any perspective how long I lived there. Oh, that laser beam hurts so much and doesn't miss. Jesus. Oh, I am in danger. See, I grew up mostly in New York. More lasers. Gotta back off, man.
All right, Anna wants to know how it feels to have so many fans around the world.
I don't know, man. I don't know, man. Oh, am I dead? I'm alive. Barely. It's something that it's definitely weird, not to get like too weird about it, but it's not something, as much as it's something I've always wanted, it's not something that I ever expected to come to fruition. So like when I go to stream and I see, you know, people show up so quickly, it's definitely something that I don't know if I'll ever be able to get used to it. It's lovely. I love it. Don't get me wrong, but actually getting used to it, I don't know, man. Tough. Weird. I still get that massive anxiety before I hit the go live button. Like, oh my God. I hope someone shows up. You know what I mean? Like that's something that I still have, very much so. It's weird, man. Where's this boss? There he is. This should be able to kill him right here. Oh, he's gonna fire. He's gonna fire. He's firing. Get out! I couldn't kill him. Oh, he just died. I guess the bleed killed him. Okay. Cool.
All right. Jen says 25K subs means a new Estelle tat.
Oh, Astel?
Astel, sorry.
That was something that we said for 100,000 subscribers as well, I believe, right? So we got a lot going on for 100,000, I guess. I'm gonna get my makeup done by you live on stream, and then an Astel tattoo on my back.
All right.
That's gonna be cool.
Who is Astel?
Astel, Natural Born of the Void. He's the multicolored one with the human skull, the insect pincers, like the 8 arms, the long body with the scorpion tail. He's very, very cool, actually. One of the best looking things in the whole game.
Creepy. All right, Lauren Strange. Will you and the wife make a gaming channel together?
Probably not. Wife works a lot of hours on her own. I like to include her in things like when she has time off, like right now. We have her like reading off the questions for the Q&A from you guys. But generally speaking, she has like her career to focus on, and I always want that to be a focus for her because she's been at it for so long and she's done so great for so long. Especially now, she's got some pretty big stuff coming up at in her own line of work. So just wanted to keep on going on that. If things go in a certain way in the future, then I could see us doing like a co-op friendly, like themed series of videos on my channel. I could see that happening. I could definitely see that happening. But yeah.
All right. Terry Rose asks, what brokerage do you use for your accounts?
I've got nothing like that right now. I got nothing like that right now, man. I'm not the type of person where I like to like I'm not crazy rich, and I don't ever imagine myself being crazy rich. Like, I'll be straight up honest with you, like with I have going on right now, it's not much better than like a standard wage job right now. I kind of like I feel the economic pressures that the average American does. Like, it's nothing different. Like it truly is not much different at all. It's very, very similar. So yeah, I don't really have any headroom for that type of stuff right now.
All right. Turner Wayne wants to know what got you into gaming and streaming.
So when I was very young, when I was just a couple years old, my mom was getting into becoming a nurse. She was attending, classes to become a nurse. It's what she wanted to do with her life. And she had me and my older brother to take care of. And my older brother has epilepsy. And because of that, it was very hard for her to kind of do things, especially with my father, who was in the army. And then, you know, they actually they split up very soon after we moved out to New York as well. So essentially my mom doing everything she did was mostly from the perspective of being a single mother for a long while. And she did have a Nintendo and with Super Mario Brothers and Tetris. So she would use that to kind of distract me for as long as possible, but it ended up becoming a large passion of mine. And so I was always playing video games. I remember specifically, like, one of my earliest memories with video games is I was sitting on my living room floor playing Sonic the Hedgehog, which I love Sonic the Hedgehog. Specifically the first few games, man, were really great. Really enjoyed playing those games as a kid. And so, like, those are some of my earliest memories, just playing video games on the living room floor while my mom was like on the couch or in the dining room table, just kind of, you know, doing her studies, essentially. But yeah, I've always enjoyed video games, and it's been happening longer than I have memory of. That's how long I've been playing video games. I don't remember the first time I played video games. I was only 2 at the time, but all of my oldest and best memories involve video games for sure.
All right.
Yeah, it's pretty good, Boss Guy. I'm enjoying this game a lot.
Uncle Shane wants to know if you're gonna play. Is it AC Mirage?
Assassin's Creed Mirage?
Assassin's Creed.
We'll see. It depends on what else is going on in the gaming sense when that game gets closer to release. There's a big chance of yes, but I can't really say with guarantee when I don't know what else is going to be happening around that same time. I would love to say yes in general, though. Like, that is something that I do want to play more Assassin's Creed stuff, and so I'm kind of hoping that it goes that way.
All right. Soon Sune Pelser wants to know how your hand is.
My hand's doing a lot better now. I hit it off the baby gate thing on the wall a couple nights ago, but you know, it's still like a little bruised, but I'm fine now. Thank you. I'm good to go.
Alan would like to know if you're going to play Jedi Survival next year.
Yes, whenever that comes out, I'll be playing it. Absolutely. I really enjoyed the first one. Jedi Fallen Order was really great. That's what you're talking about, right? The follow-up to that. I really enjoyed Fallen Order. I want to play the next one, the follow-up to it too. Whenever that happens, I'll be there.
All right. Prof asks, besides eggs, what's your favorite pre-stream meal?
Besides eggs, you know, I almost always eat before stream. It's not often that I don't, but I don't think I have like a favorite thing. Generally speaking, like, I save the foods that I generally enjoy for after stream, because that's when I just like to get my big worries of the day to make sure everything goes well before I eat anything super heavy. I don't know if that's weird or not, but I don't like to stream on a super full stomach, for example. Like, if I'm super full, then I just kind of feel lethargic and gross. So I go for like lighter meals, and so I don't really go for my favorite stuff if I'm trying to eat less before I get on stream. You know what I mean? So yeah, I don't really know if I have anything like that. Arcane Rift. Let's try this.
Richard Cole wants to know, will you play other games that are like Kenna Breath of Spirits and the like?
So your basic action adventure games with some light RPG elements? Absolutely. Whenever something like that happens, then, you know, we'll be on top of it. Games like that I do enjoy a lot. I mean, obviously you saw me play Stray. I enjoyed playing that a lot as well. When more games come out like that, both AAA and indie, I'll be all over them, man. I'll be all over it for sure.
Okay. Biggie89, what do your family and friends think of your job?
You know, my mom was very skeptical of it for a while when I first started getting into it. And my father, my stepfather, he no longer is alive, but he was very happy for me when I found something that I really wanted to do with my time that was kind of my own thing. I think he enjoyed, like, specifically, he told me what he liked most about me streaming wasn't exactly what it was, but that I was so passionate about something. He enjoyed the idea that I was so involved on something that I looked forward to doing outside of anything else in my life. Like, I had a relationship, you know, I was able to afford a roof over my head and stuff like that, and he was happy for that. But what he enjoyed the most was that I was doing something that I was happy about, I looked forward to every day. And so he always expressed that. That was something that he specifically said many times, that he doesn't care what I do in life as long as I'm happy. And so that's something that I've always held on to, specifically since he's passed away. But and then, of course, my biological father, he actually mocked it at one point. Screw that guy. I'm not going to get into details. You know, he's not a good person. I'm very happy that I'm nothing like him, type deal. You know what I mean? But yeah, the people that I consider my parents are very happy for me right now. Rich, thank you for the gifted membership, dude. Went out to Big Fluffy Panda. Thank you for the generosity, man. Thank you very much for the generosity, dude. Thank you.
All right. This next name, I'm not sure if I'm going to pronounce it right. Is it Rifan Adi? You ever tried to be a voice actor?
No. I have no idea where to even begin with that. It's something that ever since I started streaming specifically on YouTube, a lot of people have mentioned that I should look into doing, but I just, I don't even know where to begin for that. And as well as, from my understanding, the voice acting industry is pretty cutthroat, and a lot of the major work goes to just a very select few people. Like, I won't pretend to know anything about it, but that's just, you know, what it looks like from the outside looking in, especially with recent controversies around it all. And so I just kind of, it's not something I've done a whole lot of consideration on. It would be cool to try at some point. I'd be down to get involved in it in some capacity in the future. But the way I see it is, if I ever want to make something like that, like a career, I have to be very aware of the risks going in and, you know, into it. And from my understanding, the risks around it right now are pretty damn hefty. It's one of those things where there's not enough work to actually support everyone that does it. So that's tough.
All right. Not sure. This next question, I'm not sure. Agamemnon asks, who is your floor?
Who is my floor?
Yep. Not sure about that one.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm not sure what, I'm trying to figure out what the question is based on what I'm hearing, but who is my floor? I don't know, man.
Our floor's name is Greg.
I love Greg.
Zudor,
yeah.
Zudor. We've kind of already answered this, but what are you feeling about having so many fans from all over the world?
It's crazy, dude. I don't know how to even, like, begin adjusting to the idea of it. Specifically since moving to YouTube, man. It's just crazy amount of people hang out with me on my channel every single day, and I'll forever be grateful for it. It's a lot to process still. I don't know if there'll ever be a way where I can process it and be like 100% like comfortable with it. A lot of it has to do with me just being a naturally socially anxious person. Oh God, I'm gonna die. But yeah, I don't know, man. It's crazy to me that it's something that it is going in the direction that it is. I'm very grateful. Extremely grateful, man.
All right. Avalanche asks, if you want to gift your wife a game, which game would you choose?
I don't know. We have Game Pass, so we're always talking about like different games on Game Pass. She actually discovered the Dyson Sphere project a couple nights ago, and she's been playing that pretty crazily since then. So like the access that we have to video games now, you know, specifically with Game Pass, is pretty great. She's always looking on there, seeing what's going on. We also have like EA Play through that and stuff like that. So it's very hard to answer that question because every game that I think that she would ever be interested in playing, she's either already played because she knows of it before I do, or, you know, it's something like I stumble across while looking around on Game Pass myself. I think the most recent game that I pointed out to her was My Time at Sandrock, and therefore My Time at Portia, which are very much so like farming simulator games, like Stardew Valley and stuff like that. I've got 11 health. I'm gonna die.
There's so much more. They're so good.
My damage is non-existent with this build. Holy shit.
Right.
Hold on. Hold up. Jake, thank you for the 5 gifted members to the community, dude. Holy. Oh, I'm gonna die. I'm so dead. I lived. It's fine. Jake, thank you for 5 gifted memberships to the community. Thank you guys for sharing the cult emotes with the new non-cult members. Jake, thank you for the generosity, man. Thanks, dude. I really appreciate it, buddy. Thank you for that. Oh, I did die, but I do have a perk which brings me back to life a couple times, so we've got that going on for us. Okay, I'm good.
Alrighty. Hold on.
Mashitatsu. Yeah.
Aha. I can speak. Hi, Josh. Hope you and your wife have a good weekend. Will you play Neo series before or after you play Wolong next year?
With the current timeline, it'll likely be something that I play after Wolong. I don't know when it'll even be. I just know that with all the new games coming out over the next few months, there's not going to be much time to check out too much of Neo at the moment. Unfortunate reality of the situation is, I love playing new games. And there's a lot of new games coming out, and I want to make sure that I can cover as many of them on my channel as I possibly can. I died again. Shit. All right, last life before this is over. This build is horrendous.
Little Monster J wants to know if there's any siblings in Dobby's future.
I would like to get more cats, yeah. We're just not in a position to be able to do so. There's already four cats in this house, Dobby being one of them. Daz and his wife have 3 cats, and you know, they had them, you know, when they moved here, so I don't want to get any more cats. I feel like 4 is plenty. 4 is plenty. So perhaps in the future, you know, she'll get her own place and stuff. Yeah.
I would love to give him a friend.
Yeah. Cats are generally better in duos, or, you know, more than just by themselves.
Jewmorn wants to know how long we've been married for. It's about 9.5 years.
There's 4 bosses in the field right now. Holy shit. Yeah, like wife said, we've been together a total of almost 14, married for a little over 9. And we're dead. Terrible. Jake, thank you again for the gifted memberships, dude. Yeah, this build was atrocious, by the way. Arcane Slash is not all that great, it looks like. Also, dudes, do me a favor if you haven't already, leave a like on the stream so more people will be able to see it, you know what I mean? Whether you're watching live or the video later, if you're watching this later on, thank you for joining us too. Thank you guys for hanging out with me today. Let's try the Assassin. I've not played the Assassin yet before either. We get Sinister Strike, stab enemies in front of you, causing 70 damage if the target is facing you, or applying Hemorrhage if you are behind the target. Hemorrhage deals 300 damage over 10 seconds. For every meter the target moves, there's a 40% chance the target will take extra damage from Hemorrhage. Interesting. Okay. Let's give it a go. Oh, that build was terrible, by the way. Jesus. Oh, I got the hemorrhage on you. Haha. Okay, I'm good for more questions.
All right. Anna wants to know, can we meet you at some point at a big event? If so, in Europe, maybe too?
So I'm not really big on going to like conventions. I've never gone to a convention. I'm not saying that it wouldn't be enjoyable and cool to be able to meet people, but I just don't really see myself going to any. The furthest thing I've ever done, or the biggest thing I've ever done as far as like anything quote unquote convention like, was going to the Battlefield 5 release event in Stockholm. And it was very content creator focused, not so much like community focused. I went there because I was invited, wanted to see what the experience was like, and it was really great because I got to meet like developers around the game and stuff like that. Like Jeff, if you're still here, I got to meet him there, which was amazing. That's a very cool experience. And like I said earlier, it'll always stand out to me because of how much of a experience it was being there. But as far as going to a convention, I can see myself going at some point, but it's not something that's ever been a priority for me. We'll see what happens in the future, but I currently have nothing like planned out. I think a lot of that was stifled by pandemic as well. There was a few years here, obviously, where kind of going to a convention was very much so out of the question for someone like me. So we'll see what happens, obviously, as things kind of slow down in that regard. And of course, if I am to go to something like that, I'll let people know because it would be cool to meet up with some others, you know? We'll just see what happens in the future.
Our next question is from Urban. He wants to know the last time Daz was let out for water and bread, but I want to know who gave him water and bread to begin with.
Well, Daz is currently sitting at his desk right now, so he's doing fairly well. He's doing fairly well. Let's get the chaos golems. He's had plenty of water and bread, okay? He's doing fine. All right? Don't ever ask again.
And then Badger asks, if you had to fight to the death against either one horse-sized duck or 1,000 duck-sized horses, which would you pick and why?
I don't know, man. I feel like a bunch of duck-sized horses would not only be easier, but also a lot more adorable, so I'd probably lose because I didn't want to hurt any small horses.
I would just be sitting there giggling.
I guess I'm dead, you know? I surrender. Yeah, I think I have to go with the duck-sized horses, though, because I feel like that'd be easier to deal with. Yeah. Yep. For sure.
Josh wants to know what made you want to start streaming.
So like I mentioned earlier, I started watching streams while I was playing video games as well. Way back in the Justin TV days, I would watch people like Lyric, Day9, Dan's Gaming, and a few others way back then, back in like 2012, 2013, I think. Yeah, I think that adds up. So I always liked the idea of streaming since then. I loved kind of like the dynamic of it. Like these, just watching these people communicate with people from all over the world while playing video games and just sharing the experiences together, man, that was just a really cool thing to me. I always really enjoyed like watching others do that, and it was something that I knew that one day I was going to do myself too. I just knew it was something I had to get involved in to try out too. And so a few years go by, and I hit the worst depression I've ever experienced in my life. And because of that depression, it's something that I knew that I had to kind of shake it up. And, you know, I had the support of my wife, and so it was something like I knew that I had to do something to kind of like have something to look forward to do every day instead of the same old droll things of just kind of waking up, going to work, coming home, and doing nothing with my life. I just needed something that, you know, made me value my time more. And so I looked into streaming, and it also kind of lined up with wife was like the last little push. Like I mentioned, just a week ago, where she was like the last little push that I needed to really get into it. And so she's largely the reason that I am actually streaming now. She was like that last little nudge, and here I am, you know? Because I wanted to make sure that she was comfortable with me sinking my time into something like this and not really being able to be, you know, paying attention to everything else, you know, all the time. And obviously we spend time together all the time, like every night, but it wasn't going to be as much type deal, you know? And so she's like, yeah, dude, do it. And so, yeah, here we are. And the rest is history. I had spousal support, and that was key. Absolutely. Absolutely. All right, this build I feel like is going to be pretty good. The unfortunate side is I do have to get very close range, but this has been pretty solid. Stabbing my enemies.
Cole Kelker wants to know, what is your house in Hogwarts? Curious about Spellbound as well. I'm Hufflepuff. I don't know what he is.
I have no idea. I enjoyed reading the Harry Potter books, but I've never really, I don't really know how to identify with any of the houses. So I guess I would just have to kind of read what they're all about and then pick again from there. I don't really know, man.
There's like a quiz you can take.
A quiz?
A quiz.
Like a personality thing?
I guess. A lot of them are really corny because it's like, you know, when you're eating a sandwich, do you do it with courage? Do you know?
I bravely took a bite of the ham sandwich.
Exactly. Did you angrily bite the sandwich? Did you question the sandwich before you bit it?
Why are you ham?
Alrighty. Matt wants to know, what developers or studios do you have particularly high opinions of and why?
The first thing that comes to mind is BioWare and DICE. Specifically BioWare because I grew up loving their RPGs. Think of everything from, you know, Dragon Age and Mass Effect to Baldur's Gate to Jade Empire. I love those games. They were a lot of my childhood. Because of those games, it has really helped me kind of form me into the gamer that I am. I love RPGs and action adventure games because of them. And then DICE because I grew up playing Battlefield, man. Love, love, love Battlefield. Even though the last few Battlefield games have not been well received, overall, that doesn't change my overall opinion of DICE. It's just a matter of, you know, I grew up with those games and they were some of my favorite multiplayer experiences to ever happen. And so therefore I've always appreciated them as a studio. I'm ready for more questions.
All right. Next one's a double. Same person asked 2 questions in a row, so I'm just gonna give you both.
Okay.
How long have you been playing games on your computer, and what is your favorite Resident Evil game?
Resident Evil 4, very much so. Resident Evil 4, and I'm very excited for Resident Evil 8. Resident Evil 4 remake. I just played 8, so I just kind of defaulted to that. But Resident Evil 4 remake in March, I'm very excited for. So yes, Resident Evil 4 is the answer there. And then, what was the other question?
How long have you been playing games on your computer?
2 hours. I've been playing games on PC specifically since I was 10. I believe I was 10 years old when my family first got a computer. We got our first like home PC. Back then it was a very unusual thing. It was becoming more and more popular around that time. And so I remember one of the first games I played on PC was an MMO called Tibia, as well as RuneScape. Because obviously we got the PC, we couldn't afford any games to put on the PC. But we didn't get the PC for gaming, to be fair. It was more for just kind of like, you know, just like surfing the web type deal. And back then as well, the internet was something that you had to pay for by the minute for the longest time. And so I actually didn't play any games on the PC until a while later when some other companies came out with like a flat fee per month for internet access. I think where I started with my family was actually Earthlink. Is the first studio or the first company that we had as far as like a dial-up connection that you paid for by the month instead of by the minute. If you did not know, there was a time, I'm sure a lot of you guys do know, but if you do not know, there was a time when you had to pay for the internet by the minute, and it was not cheap.
No.
It added up extremely fast. But luckily that model died out pretty quick. Luckily. So yeah, I've been playing games on PC since like 10. And that was in the upper 90s. Like 1997-ish. 1998-ish, yeah.
Alrighty, Dustin Hicks wants to know how long we've had Dobby. He is 4. We've had him for about that long.
Yeah, we've had him since basically he was 8 weeks old.
Yep.
So over 4 years now. He just turned 4 like a month ago, so yeah.
A couple months, yeah. Matt wants to know what, this is to me, the best thing about being married to Josh.
Say nice things, say nice things.
I don't know. No, I'm just kidding. Honestly, his patience. I have a temper that I've worked on calming down for the past decade or so, and he is the reason that I'm able to be as chill as I am now. I don't stress over things. He's the reason I'm down here moving ahead in my career. He's very patient and he listens. And if I have stuff I need to talk about and spilling some tea, he holds his cup out so I could pour that right in his cup. But
It's green tea, by the way.
that I mean, he's kind of cute, so.
Hey, thanks.
But no, mostly his patience and the fact that he actually likes me. Right? You do still like me, right?
Sometimes.
Oh, alright, cool. Diclones wants to know if you can help them with their math homework.
Oh, God. I don't know if I have the brain capacity anymore, dude. I'll tell you what. I'll take a look. I'll try. But if you fail, don't blame me, okay? Don't blame me. Not to mention, I am pretty anti-homework still, so we'll see what happens. Maybe I'll fail you on purpose. You're screaming and sobbing right now? Aww. Aww. The short one. Yeah, that's me. The short one.
He was the shortest out of all the entire group.
The shortest out of, like, all dudes on the planet.
No. No. All right, Wintervale says, "Hey Josh, you mentioned you had just." All right, that's it. No, I'm just kidding. You mentioned you had started to lose that love of streaming towards the end on Twitch. Have you regained that excitement of streaming here, hanging with us?
Oh yes. Let me tell you something real quick. I would not be here if I wasn't. If I was still feeling like bummed out and burnt out, then I wouldn't be here. The biggest switch for me was going from multiplayer games to single player games. Instead of playing the same multiplayer game day after day, being able to kind of change it up and play different games every so often has really brightened my day. I don't have to worry about being stuck with any one thing right now. Like even here right now, at this very moment, here playing this game, I've got people tuning in and hanging out with me, and that makes me damn happy. I have more viewership right now than even my best day on Twitch ever. So, like my best average day without like a host or front page action on Twitch, that is. So like having what I have now, I appreciate the hell out of it, dude. Obviously our viewership is not the same as when I say play Elden Ring or Stray or something like that, but this game is not up most people's alleys, and I respect that. A lot of people don't even know what this game is, and they may not never ever know. That's just the reality of indie titles. But the fact of the matter is, I still get more viewership here on YouTube doing this, as well as I get to experience more games in general and not being stuck with any one thing, and that makes me extremely happy. I am very, very, very happy about things with stream now. When it came to streaming on Twitch, what made me most unhappy was just kind of feeling stuck. In order to actually grow, I had to do the same thing over and over again. If I were to change games at all when streaming on Twitch, then people would just never tune in again, and that would be that. At least here on YouTube, people see I'm playing this game, like, oh, okay, well, I'm not really into this game, but I'll check out God of War when he plays that, you know? Like, a lot of people know I'm playing God of War in just a few days, and they'll be there for those streams. And I don't have to worry about that because I know they're going to be there. And I think that's amazing. On Twitch, you wouldn't really get that nearly as often. And so, yeah, I'm pretty happy, man.
All right.
Josh can rob me, and I'd still support him. All right, I'm on my way. Thanks, Queso. Thanks for letting me rob you. Hey, this build's actually pretty good. Okay, I'm ready. I'm ready.
I'm sorry.
You're good. You're good.
Matt says, "Joosh, the great nickname or the greatest nickname?"
You know, I enjoy it. It's something like growing up, I was always called like Josh, Joshy, Joshua, Joshist, or people would like, yeah, Yash, Yahshua, Yahweh, stuff like that. It's like I've actually never heard Joosh until I started streaming here on YouTube. No one ever called me that until now. So as far as nickname goes, I appreciate it the most. For sure.
Rich Joke says, "What's your favorite season and why is it autumn?"
Okay, so generally speaking, it is autumn because it, you know, things kind of cool off. I'm not really into the summer heats, but I'm also not crazy about cold winters either. You know, growing up in New York, winters sucked, man. Never knowing how much snow you would expect on the ground in the morning, and then, you know, waking up and just knowing that you have to go out there and shovel and plow and stuff. Hated it, man. Hated it. It was the worst. In fact, I remember the first year I moved out of my parents' house, we had one of the worst winters that I've ever seen in my life. One of the worst winters that New York had seen in decades.
We lived up on a mountain.
Yeah, I lived up on a mountain by a state park. So it was way out in the middle of nowhere and with very little actual infrastructure support early on in the day. So oftentimes we were kind of left to our own devices for several hours until, you know, the rest of the town was taken care of. In that year specifically, there was a 13-week period where we had 13 snowstorms. We averaged one snowstorm a week that dumped 2+ feet of snow every single time. That was the first year that I lived outside of my parents' house. And I regretted moving, man. It was the worst, dude. It was so much snow and it never stopped and I hated it.
Wasn't that when my boss tried to come get me?
Yes.
And then said, "Never mind, enjoy your day off. I
Yes.
can't get my truck up there."
Yep. That was the same winter.
Yeah. My other boss said I would have made you walk.
Yep.
Yep. Yeah, I remember that.
So it was, you know, I don't like winter so much because of that, but the biggest reason that I do like fall and winter over summer is because of video games. Most large video game releases come out during the fall and winter time period. Think about the months between October and March. Like the time period between October and March is my favorite time of year because of all the video games. Yeah. So it's not even like a weather thing. If this same like block of video games was coming out over the summer, I would love summer. Straight up, I'll be honest with you, the weather doesn't matter as much as what's going on during video game season. Complete honesty there. I need to heal. These guys almost killed me. These are actually the last two bosses. This build has been really good. It's taken me a little bit longer than usual, though. The good news is, though, is it looks like we're still going to beat this, so that's good. Landed a whole bunch of bleed on that guy, so just going to let the damage happen. Hey, Chris, thank you for the 12 euros. Hey, Josh and Josh's wife. Hey, how's it going, dude? Happy to say I was here for a long time now, and this man is pure generosity. That's why he's become so successful. People love him in that, in that damn voice. Thanks for the content. Hey, thanks for hanging out with me, man. And thank you for the generosity, Chris. I appreciate it a lot, dude. I hope you're enjoying today's stream as well. Thank you for being here for it. Thank you so much, dude. Thank you so much.
Lauren Strange asks, will you play Dead Island 2 when it comes out?
Absolutely, dude. I loved Dead Island 1 so much. And I was actually very upset when the original project for Dead Island 2 was... I don't know if it was canned or if it was just, like, held off for a long time. But, yeah, I love Dead Island. Despite all of its bugs and everything, I love Dead Island. And I'm very excited that it's back. I'm ecstatic about it. I was so... like, I was like, jumping up and down when they showed off that trailer for the announcement of 2. Like, I'm so happy. I love like a quality looter type game, and Dead Island 1 was so good. I loved it, man. I'm very excited for the next one. Okay, we've done it, guys. We did it. GG. So yes, I will be there for it. Absolutely. In fact, that entire month is jam-packed. We have Dead Island 2, Hogwarts Legacy, Wild Hearts, Atomic Hearts, as well as... there's something else that month that I can't think of right now. There's something else coming out during that month too that I want to play as well. Okay, so that one took me 16 and a half minutes, but we still got through it.
All right. Tyler Lord asks, are you thinking about making a 6th episode of Grounded? That game is actually how I started watching your streams.
So I set a bit of a threshold. So what I like to do is to kind of make sure that people are enjoying what I'm doing in a way that incentivizes me to continue, you know, spending my time on a game, specifically for the channel, is I'll ask for a certain amount of likes and a certain amount of time. The last video did not hit that like threshold in that time period. So it might be something that I go back to during some downtime to try out again to see if people like it, but it's certainly not a priority at the moment. My streams are always priority, and so that's why, like even now, even though there's not a whole lot to play between like now and God of War, I wanted to take time to play something to kind of take up a little bit of time instead of just disappearing for a week. You know what I mean? Hold on, let me try the Paladin now. Okay, so this character right here, the Assassin, is actually really good. Oh, you know what? Let's do Pyromancer. Yeah, let's do Pyromancer. This guy's actually pretty fun too. So it's not something that it's not that I will never play it again. It's just not a priority at the moment. You know what I mean? So we'll see what happens in the future as far as, did I not have these other ones turned on? I didn't. Shoot, I messed that up. It's just not a priority at the moment with everything else going on, plus a whole bunch of new releases happening very soon. That's all. Pyromancer time.
We've got another question from Cole Kelker. Seeing how much of an impact you have on so many, how do you deal with that pressure, if you feel any at all?
Like I said earlier, man, every day before I hit the go live button to start up stream, I gotta do like a couple minutes of like breathing exercises. Because I want to make sure that everyone has a good time. I want to make sure that people enjoy their stay with me. I want to make sure that, you know, I don't make a complete fool out of myself. Like I generally have pretty good control over myself. You know, I always think before I speak. You know, that's why you sit here and listen to me go like constantly, because I'm very much so a think before you speak type person. But I'm still always nervous that I'm going to say something that's going to like upset someone when that's not what I intend to do whatsoever, right? I'm just very paranoid about that type of idea all the same. There is a lot of pressure with it, but you know, it's once I go live and I see that people are having a good time and everything, it's a lot lighter hearted after that, you know? I need more speed. I need to walk faster. This character's actually really slow.
Kevin Stevenson asks, who is your favorite video game creator?
Video game creator. Now, are we talking about, Kevin, are we talking about like development studio, or are we talking like content creator? This can be taken either way, I guess. Rich, thank you for the €2. I'll be here to see you pop the heck off of God of War 2. Hell yeah, man. I look forward to having you here for it. Thank you for the £2, dude. I appreciate it. So if we're talking about like video game creator in the sense of like development studio, then BioWare. And like I mentioned earlier, I love a lot of their games. I grew up with a lot of their games. Knights of the Old Republic, Jade Empire, Dragon Age, Mass Effect. Love those games. Love those very much. And there's something that like those games are games I go back to and play like all the time. In fact, I have Dragon Age, Mass Effect, all the Baldur's Gate games, and Knights of the Old Republic installed all the time. Like, they never leave my PC, ever. They're there in perpetuity. So, yeah. Now, if we're talking content creator, then I'm going to recommend my boys Daz and Fireborn. My best friends. And also very good content creators. Daz focuses on Apex Legends. Fireborn focuses on Call of Duty. They're very good dudes, and I can say that they are worth your time, especially if you're into multiplayer games like that. Firebolts.
All right, we have another.
What?
Sorry.
Sorry.
I was going to say we have another question from Cole. What is your favorite retro game for you and the wife? Oh.
I don't know that we've really taken much time to play retro games together.
Not really.
Yeah. I like when I think of retro games, my mind instantly goes to Golden Axe. So, you know, it is a co-op game. So my mind goes there. What about you? Like, when you think of old games, what do you think of? That's co-op.
I immediately think, oh, co-op?
Yeah.
Yeah, either Golden Axe or Turtles in Time.
Ooh, Turtles in Time is good too. Yeah.
That makes me think of when my brother and I would actually, that's the only time we would ever get along, was playing that game together.
Yeah. So yeah, I guess we have that common ground of like old classic side-scrolling beat-em-ups.
Yep.
Turtles in Time and Golden Axe. That's a lot of like a lot of my favorite games from when I was younger are like those side-scrolling beat-em-ups. You got Streets of Rage, you've got the Turtles games, you've got Golden Axe games. Oh, you know what else is good? Is Gauntlet. Oh my god. Gauntlet's also really great. Big fan of those. So yeah. Oh, damn it, these guys with these barrels.
Well, this next question actually goes along with it. Uncle Shane says, have you ever thought about playing any retro games?
So I do have like a lot of older consoles and copies of older games, but I've never considered streaming them. They're more of something that I have more for myself. And like when it comes to content creation, I like to cover newer games just because they're going to be something that I'm going to be willing to spend more time on. Something that a lot of people forget when it comes to older games is they're not really designed to be as long lasting as modern games are. Even your most basic of modern games, think of a game like Stray, for example. Stray is a game that you can sit through and play and get through the entirety of in less than 6 hours. However, the game does offer you a little bit more content than a lot of older games, even then, because there's still a good amount of exploration. Not to mention, it's a game that you kind of hold on to. When you think of Stray, say like 10 to 20 years from now, Stray is going to be one of those games that you just kind of think about in an endearing way, much so like current games that are considered retro. It'll be very much so there in that regard in the future too. And it's very similar to that. But what I like to do for content creation now is games that have lasting power. It is more around, like, think of how much I played Elden Ring or other Soulsborne stuff, and think about multiplayer games and how many, you know, thousands of hours you can get out of those. Like, it's a very different design these days. And so a lot of people do forget that video game design now is very different from what it was back then. And so I like to cover newer games because it's something that, I guess retro is kind of like a thing that I do in my own time, you know? And whereas newer games are something that perform a little bit better for, what the hell, why'd they disappear? For, you know, the current gaming atmosphere, for what I like to do specifically. Not saying that retro games can't be, you know, good for content. It's just not what I like to do personally.
All right, Scrimma wants to know, what was that god-awful game you played where you wound up deleting the video you made?
That was Dolmen. Did I delete the whole stream? I might have. That game pissed me off.
Was it that bad?
Dude, that game was terrible. I only stayed on stream for like, what, 2 hours. I refunded the game, and I think I might have deleted the stream too. It was. I love Souls-likes, but that game really upset me. That game made me really sad. And I'm usually not like that. Like, I'm very easy to please when it comes to video games. Very easy to please. But that game, man, oh, it made me angry.
Low Monster J asks, can only choose one gaming platform or system? Which one?
PC.
All right. Easy.
It's just PC generally covers the most games. A lot of people think that, like, for example, when they think of exclusives, they'll think about Sony or PlayStation because they do have a lot of really great exclusive games. However, it pales in comparison to what Steam offers you. Even if you're not able to find as often like a great quality, high caliber AAA experience, there's so many high caliber indie titles that you can find on Steam that like all consoles combined will never be able to compare to that alone by itself. It's impossible for them to ever be able to match that. It's that good. Steam just offers so much in that regard that nothing else can compare. And I would rather have that than just a few AAA titles. Just because you can find a lot more entertainment value overall in that way.
All right. Sunai Pelser, have you ever played Golden Axe Beast Rider?
I have. I didn't like that one as much. I remember playing it on the Xbox 360, right? Pretty sure it was on the 360. I tried playing it for achievements and I actually didn't enjoy it much. I thought it was pretty terrible. I think a lot of it though is because I had that nostalgic mind at the moment. I was like, oh, dude, classic Golden Axe, man, I'm in for it. And then it was not at all classic Golden Axe, and I was very upset by it. I feel like this build is failing me. But yes, I have played it. I actually don't think I enjoyed it much. If I remember right, I found it pretty terrible, unfortunately.
This next name I'm going to butcher. Hefna.
Hefna's fine. Yeah, Hefna.
Okay. Yep, the next one was nope. Do you live off of gaming? If so, how long have you been doing it?
Yeah, I'm a full-time content creator. I've been doing it for, actually just as of last month, it's been 4 years. Before that, I worked in a factory for a decade. Alongside my brother and my father, worked in a factory with some other people as well, making animal repellents, and then, you know, I worked on my own thing on the side in content creation. And to much of my own surprise, it actually became something that I was able to pick up and do full time. And so I just kind of did, because it was like, well, if I could spend more of my time playing video games and making more content, then, you know, why wouldn't I? You know, especially if I'm still able to keep a roof over my head and everything, you know, I may as well. And so I went for it. So I've been doing it for 4 years now. This is utter chaos.
Low Monster J wants to know what my favorite game is. I would probably have to say Sims, only because that's the one that I literally have thousands of hours into, and I will always go back to it. Every time there's an update, every time there's an expansion, I'll look at Josh and be like, hey, there's another one. And I'll say, I know it's a cash grab, but give me the money. Sune Pelsner also asks if we have any pets. Yes, we have a Dobby.
We have a cat named Dobby. Dobbers. Doob.
Bub.
Bub.
Colton Lambo, how fast did she make your top 8 on MySpace?
You know, it's actually, MySpace was just beginning to be on the way out at that time. It's like, that was right about the time that it was something that I used every day or a couple of days. You know, I would log in and look around for a little bit every couple of days or so. But it was actually, I say every couple of days because it was at a point where it was every day, right? But at that time, it was only every couple of days. And it was actually coincidental that I saw Wife on there at the time because it was something that, oh, I just died. I had just gotten home after like introducing myself to her that day. And then I actually debated whether or not to say anything because I didn't want to seem like a creep, you know? And it was the reason why I know this is something that I was only on every couple of days is because I was actually going to do it because I hadn't looked in a couple of days already at that time. So it was already kind of phasing out at that time.
Facebook was making its way up.
Yeah. And so at that time, I was already like kind of over the idea of messing with my top 8 and everything. So honestly, I have no idea if she ever made my top 8. Sorry.
Honestly, I was a MySpace queen. I was also like the most emo MySpace queen. Oh my gosh. I was bad. JM17. Do you think Elden Ring or God of War Ragnarok will win Game of the Year?
I'm likely going to say Elden Ring for 2 reasons. One, it's not stuck to one platform, which means that it just has more accessibility. So PlayStation is a massive platform, but Elden Ring is on PlayStation plus Xbox plus PC, so it's got all these other platforms to be on for more people to experience. And people are generally going to talk about games that they can play versus games they cannot play. So I think that Elden Ring will just get it based on that alone. But also, I think that Elden Ring is an experience that people, you know, I do appreciate what God of War is and what God of War will be. However, I don't think it really compares to Elden Ring in the way that is what I would personally call a game of a generation that makes people play a genre that they have never considered playing before. Think about all the people in the past that said, oh, I will never play Dark Souls. Those games are too hard. From Software is just a studio that I don't even consider playing their games because they're too hard. And then Elden Ring comes out and suddenly they're playing the game. They're playing Elden Ring. They're all over it because it's just, there's something about it that just appeals to them. They love the idea of an open world that doesn't hold their hand. They want to get out there and discover things in their own way, and the game allows them to do exactly that in a very extremely non-linear fashion whatsoever. Now, I'm not saying God of War is going to be a bad game. It's going to be wonderful, and I'm very excited about it. I cannot wait. However, I just don't think it compares to the quality gaming experience that Elden Ring is able to offer so many more people for those 2 reasons. All right, this build sucks, by the way. The Law, thank you for 8 months of membership. Hi, I'm new here. Hi, new here, I'm Josh. Hi. The Law, thank you for 8 months of membership. Hope you're doing great, dude. Thank you very much for coming by and hanging out with me today. And I'm dead. Yep, that build was trash. Trash. All right. We're going to do another one. This time is the Barbarian. We get Whirlwind. We spin to win. Spin your weapons, causing 110 damage to all enemies around you. Let's do it.
All right, next question. What's your favorite Call of Duty game?
The original Modern Warfare. Specifically because at that time, like, Call of Duty was already popular, but Call of Duty Modern Warfare is what skyrocketed Call of Duty into what everyone knows it as today. And it was something that, it was the first game that me and almost all of my friends plus my brothers could actually play together and still have a good time no matter what else was going on. That was something that everybody enjoyed. If you didn't like Call of Duty, then you probably just weren't really much into gaming at that time period back in what, 2007, 2008 when it first came out. That game transformed. This might be a hot take, but in the area that I grew up, that game transformed gaming being viewed as a nerdy activity to being an activity that literally everyone can enjoy together. That's what Call of Duty Modern Warfare did for people in my area that I grew up in. That's how big of like a phenomena it was at the time. It was kind of a big deal. Yeah.
All right. Next question. Eliason, we've already kind of answered this. What's your favorite platform?
Yeah, PC.
Okay. Cole, what would you drink if there was no more green tea?
If there was no more green tea? Oh, man.
He would just dehydrate and die.
Yeah, I guess this is where, you know, right on my tombstone, green tea died, so did Josh. That's it. That's it, man. If there was no more green tea, then I'd probably go for something like, I mean, I already drink a lot of water. So if we're talking something like extracurricular outside of water, then God, I don't know. Like right now, all I really drink is water and green tea, and then I have the occasional Coke. So I'm kind of drawing a blank here, dude. I don't even know. I don't even know, dude. That's tough. That's like one of the harder questions of the day. Holy shit. What would I drink? What would I do?
You would dehydrate.
This is it for me. I'm dead.
You'd turn into dust.
It's all over now. What's up, Joe? How you doing, man? Any water havers? Yeah. Where's my hydro homies?
Oliver the Skills wants to know, what's your favorite style of eggs?
Gross. I see you, Oliver. I see you. If you did not know, guys, I am very much so not into eggs. I am not an eggy person. Do not like eggs. Do not do eggs. Eggs are gross. Eggs are disgusting. Not me, not now. I'm good. I'm good. I'm good without that in my life.
Alrighty, we've kind of answered this. Just queso. When you first started gaming, did you start on Souls-like or all of the above?
When I first started gaming, I played a lot of Tetris and Super Mario Brothers. That's all we had when I was younger. And so that was like a major amount of everything I had going on. From there, it evolved into like Sonic the Hedgehog and Golden Axe, and as well as, you know what other game I loved when I was younger was Altered Beast. Played the shit out of that game. Played the hell out of some Altered Beast. Played that a lot when I was younger too. And that was a lot of my gaming as a wee lad, as well as Earthworm Jim. Earthworm Jim. Yeah. And then I started playing Souls-likes specifically when Demon Souls came out on PS3. A friend of mine's younger brother told me about it because he rented it. And I had already known about the game, but it was never really something I considered myself playing until I sat down and played it, and then I was like, holy shit, this is amazing. And I've pretty much played them ever since.
All right. Broku wants to know if you've ever been offered any channel sponsors.
Many. But the way I do things for my channel is if it's not something that I already actively use, or if it's not something that I would enjoy using personally or playing, like I've been offered a lot of like sponsorship deals for games that I just don't really play. I do one of two things. I either straight up say no because I know that I would not enjoy it, or I say, you're going to have to offer me an exorbitant amount of money to actually take the reputation hit in order to play this game. A good example is, and I will be completely honest with you guys about this because I'm not under any NDA to talk about it, I have been offered to play Raid Shadow Legends for money on my channel in just the last 7 months since moving to YouTube, literally over 24 times. And every single time I either say no, or you need to pay me a lot to do so. And they never either accepted the amount of money that I require to do so, or they just take the no and try again a month later or so. I just, I don't want to, I will not do what people consider selling out. I won't do something just to do it for the payday. Like, I am not a greedy person. So, like, if you want me to do something, you need to make sure that, you know, it's going to be worth my time too. I'm not going to take any payday just to take a payday. Like, that's not something that you'll ever see me doing on my channel, ever. I refuse. So I have been offered many different things in that regard in just the last 7 months alone. And the reason why you guys haven't seen anything like that outside of a couple times for like a couple of games that I've made videos on is because it's something that I either planned on playing already, or it's something that, you know, they agreed to a hefty pay for. And that's pretty much it. That is it. Like, for example, like I'll be honest with you guys, if you ever see me play Raid Shadow Legends on stream or even in a video, just know that they're paying out the ass for me to do so. Outside of that, you'll never see it. That's it. I didn't get into content creation to try to like scam people out of money and get rich. That's not what I do this for. So, yeah.
All right, Sean Haney. Do you have any favorite authors and series regarding books specifically?
My favorite is The Hyperion Canthos by Dan Simmons, and then Isaac Asimov's Foundation series. Those two specifically. Cannot recommend enough. Let's get crazy. Let's remove that. We're gonna drop these totems everywhere, which are gonna be basically you're gonna see a lot of rocks flying everywhere on screen, guys, like you already are. It's about to get worse.
All right. Colton Lambo wants to know if you have any streamers you like to watch.
Like I said earlier, my man Daz, my man Fireborn, and then I take some time to watch Lyric over on Twitch every so often. I've been exploring more and more stuff here on YouTube side as well. I haven't watched a whole lot of streams on YouTube that I can say that I go crazy about just yet, though.
Okay. Queso wants to know, how's your day, dude?
Yo, Queso. My day is good, man. My day is good. Thank you for asking. Thanks for hanging out with me today.
All right. Carmen Winstead, what is your favorite genre of game?
RPG. I love a quality role-playing experience. If the setting doesn't matter as much as just making sure that the role-playing experience by itself is something that is worth my time. And then, luckily for us, there's been a lot of great RPGs in the last, 30 years.
Adam B asks, if your car got a flat tire, would you be able to mount the spare, or would you have to call for help?
I know how to mount a spare, yeah.
Yeah, so do I.
I know how to mount spares, change oils, and change brakes. Can blame my father for that one. My stepfather.
Your father. We got Cole, another question from Cole. Favorite style of pizza?
I like thin pizza with a nice burnt crust with a thin amount of cheese, an extra large amount of pepperoni, and then green peppers on top of that. Delicious. Tasty. Yeah.
See, I like mine, because he asked for both of us. I like mine as like a white sauce with a lot of cheese and some mushrooms.
You're disgusting. I hate you.
I love you too. Maybe some feta.
Okay, yeah, I want a divorce.
The papers are in the mail. It's okay. And then, yeah, burn it.
Burn it, yeah. You got to have that little bit of well-doneness to it, man. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. All right. Bobby Bates, what is your favorite / best financial buy so far?
Favorites financial buy? So I'm going to say this from a gaming perspective as well. It's got to be, it's between my PC and my Xbox, specifically because of Game Pass as well as the amount of free games on PC in general. If you're into gaming, PC and Xbox are the way, just because you can get you got PC Game Pass and Xbox Game Pass, and then all the free games that you get with those. But also Steam has just a massive amount of games that you can play for free. They also have a ton of like free play days and stuff like that all the time. So from a gaming perspective, it's just kind of like a no-brainer to me. Like, I think those are really great. I just think that those are the way. Doesn't mean that I don't like PlayStation. I still love PlayStation, but as far as like from a gaming perspective, it's not as great financially. Oh, I'm dying.
All right, this next one is more of just a statement. Resident Evil 7 was one of my favorite playthroughs you did. That was such a great time.
Hey, I'm glad that you enjoyed it.
Dr. Savage.
Dr. Savage, I'm glad you enjoyed the Resident Evil playthrough so much, dude. I had a good time with that too. It actually really has opened up my my want to stream more like horror games in the future too. Because of this, I'm very much so looking forward to the Dead Space remake as well as Callisto Protocol. Those games have just kind of opened up that whole idea to me, and I'm just very into it, dude. Very into it. I can't wait. I'm glad you enjoyed it as much as I did.
Carmen Winstead asks, what games do you not enjoy?
So I'm not really into sports games and racing games as well. If you don't consider them sports games, I'm not really into those. And then there's a few games here and there, even for genres that I do enjoy, that I do not like. A good example of this is, as much as I am into like futurism and sci-fi experiences as well as RPGs, a lot of people, there's like, if you know what Alpha Protocol is, it's like a cult classic with a lot of people that they basically call it like a dollar store Mass Effect. I tried that game and I hated it. I wanted to like it so much because of like the cult following around it, but man, I cannot get into it. I just think it's just god awful, dude. And so I do have very low standards when it comes to games. Like I just enjoy a lot of unique experiences. But another good example, I enjoy Souls-likes. You know, I the Soulsborne stuff as well as Souls-like in general, I love. But Dolmen, man, I hated playing that. I'm so glad that I got the opportunity to return it. I thought that was hot trash. I know it's like the fourth time I've mentioned it today, but man, that game was god awful. But generally speaking, sports games and racing games are something that I don't really like.
Lil Monster J wants to know how Dobby's doing.
He's doing good. He's doing good. He can be a punk
fat.
sometimes, but yeah, he's getting a little chonky.
A little chunk.
A little chonk. But he's got like this little red hoodie and this little like Argyle sweatshirt or sweater rather that he wears, and it's just the cutest thing.
He hates them so much.
He hates them, but then he gets cozy in them at the same time. I think he likes them. He just doesn't like moving around in them, if that makes sense. I am stuck. I am dead. What the hell just got me stuck? Shit, man.
Stumble Storms asks, if your refrigerator or freezer could produce one free food item a day, what would it be?
One free food item a day. An apple a day keeps the doctor away, right? Just give me one apple a day. No, honestly, that would likely just end up in me being extremely overweight. Because I would be like, yo, give me let me get
Pumpkin pie.
a pumpkin pie, you know? Let me get like some pumpkin muffins or something. You know what I mean? That's what that would turn into really fast.
Screamer wants to know, baked or mashed potato?
I prefer mashed.
Yes.
A good baked potato every so often is good, but I prefer mashed overall.
Same. Low Monster J, best concert you've ever been to?
I've actually not gone to any major concerts. I saw Breaking Benjamin before they became popular because they actually are from a town that wasn't too far away from where I grew up, just a couple hours away. So I've seen them play like live before, but in front of a much, much smaller audience. It was like kind of like a local, like open setting at a local, they actually played during like, what was it? You remember like the Strawberry Festival thing?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was like during that. Outside of that, I've not really seen any live shows myself before.
Let's see. Nimrod asks, have you ever considered going BTS and developing games or content for playing crowds?
So I actually went to school for video game development. I majored in computer science, and I was learning, a few different like programming languages. I was teaching myself Python and BASIC while also learning C# and C++ in school. But I just kind of fell out of love with the whole idea of it really quickly. As much as I thought I liked it, it turns out that I did not like the idea of it after all. I fell out of love. Like, it got to a point where I was just not playing video games at home anymore. And I actually like fell into a pretty harsh depression that lasted right up until I started streaming. So yeah, it was something I went to school for and I ended up hating. So I stopped.
All right. Next question is from Berserker Guts. It just says The Witcher.
The Witcher 1 remake, when that comes out, I will be playing it, absolutely. And then whatever new Witcher games come out from there, I'll be checking out as well. Whatever CD Projekt Red throws at us as far as new Witcher content, I'll be there for it. Absolutely.
Lewis Soar says, hey Josh, hey wife, will you play a Plague Tale Requiem?
I've got no plans on it right now. Wife has played the first one, but I have not.
It's really good.
The next one is on Game Pass if you ever want to play it. It's there for you. It came out like 2 weeks ago or so. But I never played the first one. I never got into it, and so I just never really... it didn't make sense to play the second one because obviously it's such a story-driven experience. Oh, I'm dead. This build is not good.
It's a really deep game.
So I just I've not considered the next one yet. Perhaps in the future, if I do play the first one, it's just not something I have going on right now.
All right. Chad Thacker says, hey Josh, what would you suggest how to get a setup for starting to stream, but I don't really care to get a camera to screen-wise showing myself. I doubt I'll be doing reactionary stuff.
So yeah, I don't use a camera either. It's something that I did for a long time, and I learned that it's just not necessary to have a good time and really grow your channels if you care to grow them. What I would suggest you do, if you really do want to get into streaming, you can do it directly from a console. Both Xbox and PlayStation, you can stream to Twitch on. You can't do so on YouTube, I think. It's not really built into that. However, let me try... Hold on. I'm going to lose Heroic Strike for Body Slam. You can just kind of stream directly from an Xbox or a PlayStation, man. That's where I would suggest starting. Just kind of get into it and start there. And if it's something that you end up enjoying more after a while and you want to kind of get deeper into, you can get into the PC side of it if you care to. But you can do it directly from the console and still kind of get your feet off the ground just fine. And that would be my suggestion. Chances are, if if you play video games, there's a good chance that you have a console already. So just start there. Do your thing from there. Easy peasy. You've already got that. Why not use it? One of the biggest things I can suggest when you're getting into streaming is spend as little money as possible, if any at all. There's no point in spending money if you're, just getting started. There's no guarantee that it'll ever go anywhere, and you never want to give yourself the false notion that it will go anywhere. Streaming is hard work, but also very time consuming. And when I say that I have seen literally hundreds of people throughout the years start streaming and then stop streaming within the first few months of it, I'm not exaggerating. It's something that's extremely common and happens non-stop. People are like, oh yeah, I'm going to start streaming. I'm going to grow a massive channel. And then they start streaming, they fall out of love with it, and they never do it again. After spending literally thousands of dollars on a new PC, a capture card, a microphone, a great webcam, all this stuff, they end up hating it. And then they just have all this thousands of dollars down the drain. That's it. So I would recommend not spending any money if possible. Just kind of take what you have and put it to use if you're able to do so. And if you're not able to do so, then I would suggest buying a PlayStation or an Xbox and starting there, because it's much cheaper than a PC to stream from as well. You can buy a $500 brand new console and be able to stream much faster and decent quality than the amount of money that it would take to get a PC to do so, plus all the peripherals to it.
All right. JM17, he wants to know if you've ever thought of going or having a face cam.
When I streamed on Twitch, I had a face camera for 6 years. I just don't care to have one now. I just find streaming a lot more fun without it. And so I don't use one anymore. If you are curious what I look like, you can follow me up on Instagram. I do post the very rare occasional selfie. Plus, I've got old clips and stuff like that on Instagram, as well as my YouTube channel. You can check me out there. If you want to see what I look like, that's all available for you.
All right, Matt.
Who should I play now? I will say that I do not like the Houndmaster, so I won't play that one. Let me try the Arcane Weaver. And now that we completed that, let's do the third stage here. Yes. Okay, I'm good.
Matt wants to know if you have a most disliked YouTube or Twitch creator.
Not really. I put it like this. I'm not the type of person to spend time doing something I don't enjoy. Again, Dolmen pops up again. It sticks out as something that I do not enjoy. It's not my most hated game ever. It's just the most hated game that I can think of recently. So, with that in mind, I didn't enjoy it, so I stopped playing it. I was having an awful time, so I refunded it, and that was that. I don't really spend a whole lot of time watching creators that I don't enjoy either. If I tune into something and I'm not having a good time, I don't really give myself the opportunity to dislike them. I just close it out and go watch something that I will enjoy. He hates me? Yeah, I hate Daz. Screw that guy. Screw that guy, man. But yeah, that's essentially it, man. I just don't garner the time to, I don't spend time on things that I don't enjoy. So I can't really say that I hate any other creator. If I'm not enjoying what they do, then I leave. I can't say that I hate them because I don't know them well enough to hate them. I just go my own way.
Badger would like to know if you still have that magnificent beard.
I do. I was actually, I was toying around the other day with the idea of shaving my beard and then regrowing it to kind of get a fresh start on it so it would be neater. Because it's been trimmed so many times and stuff like that I feel like it'd be kind of cool to get a fresh start on it. So I've been considering that lately, but yes, I still have the big old beard. I still do.
Okay. Little Monster J wants to know if you will ever stream VR games.
I'm not big on VR at the moment. Can't really say it's something that I really imagine myself playing anytime soon. Just because it's there's just nothing there for me. The only game that I've ever really imagined myself playing is the Half-Life Alyx game. And one game is not enough for me to justify getting all the VR stuff to do, like to do it, right? It doesn't make sense to spend that money for one singular experience. So I've got no plans around VR at the moment, man, and I can't really say if I ever will. I guess we'll see what happens in the future as more and more games come out. But right now, at this moment, no plans for it.
Gatsu30 asks, is a Persona 5 playthrough possible?
Probably not. I did try Soul Hackers 2, and that was fun, but I can say that that specific universe, where it stands right now, does not really do a whole lot for me. But it doesn't mean that I won't try something like that in the future and change my perspective on that. So we'll see what happens when it comes to it.
Okay. Brittany Kelker asks, why the hatred towards popcorn? And what's your opinion on the matter? Spellbound, let's discuss. Did I miss something?
I guess you hate popcorn, dude.
I don't like theater popcorn, but I can eat me some Smart Food white cheddar popcorn like it's my job.
Yeah, she was actually eating some of that last night.
I almost went down to get some more, but I didn't want you guys to hear crunch, crunch, crunch while I'm trying to read some questions.
Yes.
Aneska says, hi, I was wondering if you'd ever play a Fire Emblem on stream.
I would love to play a Fire Emblem on stream, but I am terrified to do it. I actually really enjoy tactical turn-based strategy games. I love them so much, almost as much as I love RPGs and FPS games. When a new Fire Emblem game comes out, it might be something that I stream, just because I know they are some of the more popular turn-based tactical strategy games that exist. So perhaps when a new one comes out, we'll talk about that then. I know there was one that came out not too long ago, but it wasn't like their usual format, so I skipped out on that one. But yeah, when a new one comes out in the future, like their usual like mainline experiences, we'll talk about it then. I would love to. I would love to. Am I going to stream God of War on November 9th? Yes, Spanky. We'll be here on the 9th to play God of War, absolutely.
Elias and Towery says, how many times have you beat Millennia?
22 times now. As of 2 nights ago, it was my 22nd time defeating her. This time it was with katanas, Serpent Bone Blade and the Dragon Scale Blade. Which, honestly, those two katanas, guys, I know a lot of people are still stuck on the idea of using, you know, like Rivers of Blood and Moonveil and stuff, but I'm telling you, you got to give the non-bleed katanas a try, too. They're so good. They're incredibly good.
Hawk Wind asks, can we stomp our feet and release our inner 5-year-olds if God of War is late? Asking for a friend.
I mean, I think that's justifiable. Yeah, if God of War is late, then yeah, I say stomp your feet, throw your hands up in the air, fall down to the ground, force the tears out of your eyes, roll around like a fish. Yeah, give it your all, dude. Absolutely.
All right, cool. Black Crystal says, will we see a co-op game with wife and Josh?
So we did play a co-op game on stream at one point, but I was still on Twitch over on that. When we did that, we played It Takes Two. If another game like that does come out, or you know something like a quality co-op experience comes out that you know would make sense to co-op stream, then absolutely, yes.
Cole asks, what's for dinner tonight? Got pizza and cheese bread over here.
Last night, wife made meatloaf, green beans, and mashed potatoes, and we have leftovers, so that's what I've been going at today. And I'll have more later. I actually
have something coming in a little bit because I wanted a little snacky snack from Sonic.
Oh.
Yeah, so we got some soft pretzels coming in.
Oh.
But yeah, we gonna have some leftover meatloaf and mashed potatoes. It was really good. Mikkel Clausen, if you could only play one game for the rest of your life, what would it be?
For the rest of my life? for the rest of my life, forever, in perpetuity, one game forever. That's tough because, you know, that's going to be decades, hopefully. So, you know, my mind wants to say something like Escape from Tarkov, something that's a multiplayer experience that offers something a little bit different every time you play it. But at the same time, I can see myself going with like a single player experience that can be heavily modded over and over. Like think of a game like Skyrim where you can have like a complete conversion mod, like Enderall, for example, which is really, really good actually. A very quality conversion mod. I think I would just have to say Escape from Tarkov, just because it's something that every round is a little bit different, but still offers you an experience that is worth it.
Okay. All right. Janet Snakehole says, stuck in a bunker for a zombie apocalypse. You get one movie, one album, one game. What are they?
The movie is going to be, honestly, probably like Fight Club. It's going to be either Fight Club or The Departed. This one? Yeah, let's go with that one. One album. That album will be Shogun by Trivium.
Good album.
Yeah. And then, what was the other one? One video game?
Yes.
Escape from Tarkov. It kind of goes in line with the question that just happened previous to it, but yeah, Escape from Tarkov. Yes. Hope you're doing well today, Janet.
Stan on Fire says, would you consider playing another simulator game, for example, like the food truck one?
Yes.
That you played?
If more games come out like that, I would like. I think what I should have done is I should have played Food Truck Simulator live on stream, even if it was just for a night. I actually had a really good time with that. I discovered my enjoyment of that type of game after playing Power Washer Simulator. That game is like, Power Washer Simulator is so damn good, and man, I just kind of discovered like how fun they can really be for the first time.
It was.
Go ahead.
Sorry. I don't mean to interrupt you, but it was so funny when you were playing Power Washer Simulator, because if you were in the kitchen, you would just hear running water. And you'd be like, where is the running water? And you'd be like, oh God, he's pressure washing in the bedroom again, isn't he? And yeah, you'd go in and just for hours.
Like those games, that type of game is so fun. Specifically, Power Washer Simulator was just really like a massive, like, big vibes game, you know? Like just kind of just turn it on and forget about life for a little while. And it was just kind of very satisfying to play, obviously, because you're cleaning everything off and it's just nice. But yeah, and when more simulator games like that come out, I would love to throw some of that on stream sometime too. I think it could be really fun. Yes.
All right. PT4M says, if Malekith kidnapped your wife, which other boss would you choose to go save her? All right, who's coming to get me?
Specifically for Malekith, it's got to be someone with a lot of health. It's got to be someone that has a moveset that can get in close to him really quickly.
Melania.
Yeah, it's got to be Melania, dude. I know Melania is like an easy cop-out answer because she's considered like one of the tougher, if not the toughest bosses in the entire game. But if Malekith is taking the wife, then we got to send someone out there that means business. You know what I mean? And Melania,
I better see Melania coming after.
Yeah, Melania means business, dude. Melania is nothing but business, I dare say. So yeah.
Mikkel Clausen also says, what is your childhood dream and did you ever get to it?
Childhood dream, I actually wanted to get into, like, as far as like a career goes, I wanted to get into like radiology. I was fascinated with like bone structure and the layout of bones in human bodies and stuff like that. And so that was like a big thing when I was really young that I wanted to do. But when I got into my teen years, I kind of I guess I didn't really have much of a dream from there. I was just kind of coasting through life. And that doesn't like that's not me saying it from a sad perspective. It was more just like I said earlier as well, I naturally live more in the now than I worry about the future. Like there's some things in the future I would love to do, but I'm more worried about like what's happening in the next like day or two than anything else. And so that's always been like my priority. And that was even something that I adopted in my teen years. It's like, I don't really care what I do when I grow up, as long as I have like a roof over my head. Like as long as I can go home, hang out, play video games and enjoy it, then I'm happy, you know? And that's why when I was no longer enjoying my home life, because all I did was like just kind of go to work and then go home and do nothing. And that's when I decided to get into streaming as well, because it offered something of more value to me, as far as, you know, just kind of doing nothing and not having anything to aspire to or look forward to in general. That was kind of like what it did for me. So I guess it, like, if I were a kid now and I knew of streaming back then, say if I was like, you know, 10 years old and I knew of streams and like being able to play video games, then I'll be honest with you, like what I do now would be my dream job. Because dude, when I tell you that I am so incredibly happy being able to do this full time, I am freaking happy about it. Like, it's been an incredible experience, and I hope to keep it going for forever. I don't know if that's realistic or not, but I would love to keep it going forever. But yeah, that's not something like from a sad perspective at all, by the way. Like that's just kind of the person that I am. I worry more about the day-to-day stuff than I do about the future of things. And so I didn't really have a dream job once I hit my like teens, because I realized that as much as I enjoy like the anatomy of the body and there's kind of like the structure of it and studying it and stuff, I quickly realized that I think I would hate that job. So I fell out of love with that idea.
Right.
Yes, to ask a question, you need to click the Ask Question button at the top of the screen. You see there that highlighted blue comment. You need to click the Ask Question button there, and then it'll enter the question into a queue, and then Wife will read it off to me when it's your turn, or when it gets to your question.
Still look forward to you. All right. Just Jacus. Jake, cuz I don't know.
Just Jake.
Dude,
yeah.
Just Jake. Dude, you're such an awesome guy, even when you have trolls and stuff in your chat. How do you stay so positive?
I'll be honest with you, I have no good answer to that question. I just have a massive amount of patience. I always have. I'm a naturally patient person, and it's something that I have no idea where it came from, because neither of my parents are naturally patient people. I just am the way I am, and I always have been. I don't know. I honestly do not know how I am so patient with everything. It's definitely one of the features of my own personality that I do enjoy the most, just because it's something that has gotten me through a lot of very stressful situations, is just being patient. But no idea where it comes from, if I'm honest with you. I have not even the first clue. Thank you for the kind words, man. I appreciate it. Mighty nice of you to say.
Okay. Nimrod wants to know if you have any collections, gaming merch, etc.
Not really. I mean, I've got some like old, like retro gaming stuff, but I wouldn't really call it a collection. It's just stuff that I've had for a long time. I used to collect like Pokemon and Yu-Gi-Oh cards when I was younger, but I sold all that off just after high school, just because I wanted money. But I don't really currently collect anything. I always thought it would be cool. Like, I did have a lot of gaming statues at one point, like just before me and Wife met, but I sold all those off too because I just didn't have the space for them. I think it'd be really cool to to have like a bunch of video game based statues and stuff. Like, imagine like I had like a couple Gundams, a couple of Armored Core figures, like more mech stuff. I had some stuff from like Final Fantasy. I had some stuff from Baldur's Gates. I even had a I had a Morrigan from Dragon Age statue as well. And they're all very high quality and very expensive and everything, but I just didn't have the space for them anymore, so I sold them all off. I think that'd be nice to get into again, but I also don't want to spend that amount of money on that stuff anymore.
All right. Chad Thacker, do you and the wife have any pets? Yep, we've got Dobby.
Yep, we've got a cat named Dobby. We've had him for 4 years now. He's a good boy, but also a punk.
And he knows how to manipulate us.
He does.
He really does. All right, the law. Do you know a guy called Necrosaurus Rex, and why did you kill him?
Okay, so when I first started streaming, guys, my name was Necrosaurus Rex. Back then, I wanted my name to be Necromancer or Necro, because I always enjoyed playing like necromancers in video games as well as like D&D. It was just fun to kind of be able to like summon undead and poison everything and stuff like that. You know, cast curses, stuff like that. Always a cool way to play a video game to me. However, the name Necro and Necromancer were not available because, you know, the internet. They were very much so taken up by everybody else. So I decided to just kind of throw something with Necro in there, and the first thing that came to mind was just throw a Saurus Rex on the end. Oh, hey, we won. Look at that. We won.
Little Monster J, sorry.
You're good.
Little Monster J wants to know, what's your favorite movie?
Toss up between The Departed and Fight Club. I will say that I'm not really someone that's well versed in watching a whole lot of movies, and I'm not like a huge critic or anything like that. I just enjoyed the experiences of watching those two specifically.
Fight Club is such a good movie.
Yeah. Carmen, I've already played Bloodborne. There's a playlist on my channel of it if you'd like to watch it. We did it just a few months ago. My health bar is right here. Graphite. You see the red right here? This is my health bar. Right above the skills. That's the health bar right there.
All right. Urban, I see you, and I'm totally going to call you out and throw you under the bus. It says, wife, don't read the rest of this. I'm supposed to go pinch or poke you. And I don't feel like getting up, honestly. Sorry, Urban.
What's up, Count Dread? How you doing?
Let's see.
Let's try the Paladin now. I'm ready for question.
I lost my space. Richard Cole says, Josh, what's the definition of insanity? Answer, doing the same thing over and over again until you expecting a different result. Did Twitch really try to lock you in on your gameplays?
So the way content creation generally works is you want to do a lot of the same thing that you are considered to be good at or can gain popularity over if you have any type of visibility on it. For me, when I started streaming, I played a lot of Battlefield, and I used to play FPS games semi-competitively. I would like go out to New York City with a couple of friends, and we would go to like tournaments. And the best I ever did was actually a Battlefield 3 tournament where my team took third place, and we won a couple $1,000s, which was pretty cool. So I definitely was like, I was very capable of doing things within FPS stuff. And so when I was streaming, I tried to show that off as much as possible and gain popularity around that. And even though I did very well within a lot of shooter games that I played on stream, it just never really took off in the way that I hoped it would. What was the question again?
Did Twitch really try to lock you into your gameplays?
So it wasn't so much Twitch locking me in to anything specifically, but it's just like the standard format when it comes to streaming. It's an expectation of you to do the same thing over and over again. There's even a certain amount of that happens here on YouTube. Like people will come by and be like, "Why aren't you playing Elden Ring?" Right? Or why aren't you playing Grounded? Why aren't you playing X game, Y game, stuff like that. Like people they come to know you for a very specific thing, and that's like an expectation. And this isn't a matter of a complaint. It's just a matter of that's how the internet works. When people discover you for a certain thing, that's what they expect you to do. And that's just kind of how it is. So it wasn't so much like Twitch, the site, doing that. It was more just the culture around streaming that caused it, right? That's just kind of how it was. Yeah.
All right. Broku wants to know if you ever missed home.
I do. I like the area we grew up in. No doubt, I missed that. Yeah.
Yep.
No doubt. Without any type of, yeah, how do I say this? Like, I don't regret moving, but I do miss like the area I grew up in. A lot of good people there, you know?
Yep. I am on the exact same page with you, Ben. Because
these guys. So much health.
All right. The law wants to know if streaming multiplayer stuff is completely off the table.
I wouldn't say off the table, but I just have a very large focus around what I do now with single player games. After playing so many years in a row of almost exclusively multiplayer games on stream, outside of the rare occasion I would do something single player on stream, I have kind of reacquainted myself with my love of single player gaming. And after streaming so many things that weren't single player and missing out on so many great quality experiences in a single player fashion, it's just something that I have made a large priority to stick with for now. Not to say that I won't do something multiplayer in the future on stream or anything like that. There's definitely a possibility for it, but it's just kind of what I do at the moment.
Okay. Sharkbit wants to know if the lands between were cleansed of all the nastiness and a normal society would start to flourish. What region would you like to build a home and live in?
That's a good one. Honestly, I would like to build like a little place up on the eastern cliffs of Liurnia. You know that area, the artist shack on the eastern side of Liurnia, just to the northwest of the Karian study hall. Specifically there, looking towards Lanedell and the golden Erd tree, and then the big full moon behind it that passes by. Hey, that is one of the most gorgeous things I've ever seen in a video game, man. That scene specifically, dude, so good. So good. I would build a house right there.
Saucity wants to know where you seen the gaming industry in like 5 or 10 years.
So the gaming industry has actually blown up in the last few years because of the pandemic. A lot of people stayed home playing video games a lot more often because they couldn't really do anything else, right? It's kind of hard to go out because, you know, lockdowns, as well as, you know, just kind of the fear of getting a deadly disease. So the gaming industry has blown up, but because it's blown up so quickly, I'm actually expecting it to... It's either going to stagnate or shrink a little bit, specifically because it grew so quickly in just a few years. Not to mention, there's actually, you know, we're just now starting to recover from like supply chain issues around, you know, certain metals and stuff like that they're required to make chips and everything to, you know, make more consoles and, you know, PC parts with. So I do feel like because of this, it's either going to stagnate or lose a little bit of its forward momentum in the next 5 years. That's kind of where I expect it to go. Though that doesn't mean that people do not love gaming and don't appreciate it. It's just something that right now with the current economic status of the world, plus all this supply chain stuff, it's just kind of hard to continue moving it forward when it's just, there's just no reason for it to, especially when it comes to being a form of entertainment. A form of entertainment is just that. It's a form of entertainment. It is not a necessity to live. It's a want, but not a necessity. And so because of that, everything else just kind of takes precedence over it. People need to keep roofs over their head. They need to keep food in their mouths, you know, clothes on their back, take care of their children, stuff like that. And those things all, you know, take priority over, say, a new video game console or even a new video game. Yeah.
All right. The law wants to know Paragon or Renegade.
I generally go Paragon, but I will say that my Karen Shepard playthroughs, the Renegade Karen Shepard playthroughs of Mass Effect, when the Legendary Edition came out, were some of my favorite playthroughs that I've ever done of the game. So damn
hilarious.
Good. They were so good. Some of the actual, like, some of the things that you would say, specifically in Mass Effect 2, when you go to the Citadel and you're going to all the shops, you actually pull some hardcore Karen moves that I will never forget. So incredible. You guys hear that? She's trying to charge us too much for these things. I'll never forget it. So good.
I didn't realize she actually Karen.
Oh, she actually Karen. It was incredible. Amazing.
All right. Sharkbit wants to know, have you seen the pre-alpha trailer for Blight Survival? It's getting a lot of attention right now.
I have not. Blight Survival. You're in the Discord, right? Can you find like a YouTube video and drop a link so I can check it out later? I would like to check it out. I just can't right now.
Okay. Nandor the Relentless, would you follow wife's encouragement for you to stream Ghost of Tsushima at some point?
Yes.
All right,
I just need to find a window of opportunity to do so. With so many new games coming out over the next like 4 months, there's going to be zero time to play older games outside of like very small windows. And when it comes to a game like Ghost of Tsushima, we need more than just a few days to be able to do so. You know what I mean? So we just need to find the right time for it. Perhaps the upcoming like late spring, early summer window. I think that might be our best bet in order to actually cover another game like that.
All right. Matt is asking me one of my favorite stories about Josh. And I was actually thinking about that while he was answering this last one. One of my favorite things that I remember, way back in 2009, we went down to Florida to visit my father. And that wasn't anything special. It was just, you know, we were in Florida. Great, cool. But the entire time there, we couldn't use any kind of profanity. We couldn't like swear or anything because he was extremely religious and very strict at this point. So I remember after we got dropped off at the airport when we were about to go home, walking through the airport, we were just cussing up a storm just because we could. And that was probably one of the most fun times because we were having a blast. We were finally going home and we could swear again. So just walking through the airport, it was just F this, F that, you know. That's probably one of my favorites. I actually thought about that the other day.
I forgot about that.
Yep, we couldn't swear, nothing. And it's so weird because growing up, the F word was every other word out of that man's mouth, so it was awkward. Broku wants to know, how come I can play Doom on my Samsung fridge but not Elden Ring?
Who do we complain to about that? Do we talk to Samsung or do we talk to From Software, or do we is like a combination effect? Like, I want to play Elden Ring while I'm getting a glass of ice water, man. Like, I'm making my DiGiorno. Okay, I'm getting my DiGiorno out of the freezer. I want to fight Melania at the same time. Come on, let's hook it up.
Yeah, I want to stand at my fridge for 13 hours.
Yes. I mean, you got everything you need right there. You got the fridge, you got the game.
Let's see. Majin Kai, yeah. How does it feel obtaining 25,000 subscribers in the short time you've been on YouTube?
I'm gonna be honest with you, dude. It was something that I was not thinking was going to happen. If you guys recall, I actually set a goal. It was like, at the time, it was like quite the excessive goal of hitting 10,000 subscribers in a single year. And then that was at the beginning of the year, and it's not even the end of the same year yet, by the way. We still have like 2 months before the end of the year. We're already at 25,000 subscribers, and we might actually hit 30 by the end of the year, which is crazy. Yeah, and so just kind of hitting 25,000 when I set the original goal of 10 by the end of the year is something that I never thought was going, like, I didn't think I was going to hit 10,000. I was just setting like a ridiculous goal at the time for myself, just to kind of be like, I need to push myself for something big this year. And that's what I want it to be. I want to hit 10,000 subscribers on YouTube. I want to say that my channel on YouTube actually has something to it. And so here we are, you know, 150% more than that. It's crazy, dude. For lack of a better way to say it, man, it was something that I didn't even have big expectations on hitting 10,000, let alone 25. So I'd say pretty damn happy is what I am about it. Yeah. Thanks, Cactuar. Appreciate you, dude.
Joe Fabulous wants to know how he becomes a pro gamer Giga Chad like you.
What you want to do is wake up in the morning and piss excellence. I just spend a lot of time playing video games, man. I don't know. I work here, you know?
I just work here.
I just work here, dude. That's all I got.
Okay.
It's good to see you here, Joe. Hope you've been great, dude.
Majin Kai also asked, what's your favorite food to snack on?
Favorite food to snack on?
I'm gonna guess your current favorite snack is Sour Patch Kids.
Yeah, I like Sour Patch Kids a little too much. I enjoy sour things, though it's never sour enough. You guys ever have that where sour things are just never sour enough? Like, I'm just gonna start eating like whole lemons or something. I need more sour.
I've already seen you do that.
Yeah, I know. I need more like sour in my life. But something else that I really enjoy is dried mango. Specifically dried mango with, what is it, Tapatio?
The chili?
Yeah.
The chili, yeah.
Yeah, like that is really good. Really,
like
really good.
That ice cream had Tapatio.
Yes. That's what I'm mixing it up with. But yeah, like dried mango with some chili on there, man. Holy hell. Rich, have a good night, dude. I'll see you later.
Black Crystal wants to know, if you were an Elden Ring boss, which one would you be?
If I were an Elden Ring boss, Patches.
I don't know which one that is.
The one that runs away.
All right.
Warheads? They're just not sour enough for me anymore, dude. What's up, Funk?
Wintervale says, after putting about 500 plus hours in Elden Ring, I'm ready for my next game. I've narrowed it down to either Cyberpunk or Assassin's Creed Valhalla. Which do you recommend?
I personally am saying Cyberpunk. I'm still kind of sore over the monetization model around Assassin's Creed Valhalla. The fact that they actually lock out some of the gear to basically microtransactions is really annoying. You either have to buy them or wait for them to pop up in that special store and hope that you have enough of the material at the time to actually to purchase them. I really, really hate that. It is something that has actually kind of held me away from Assassin's Creed Valhalla. I never finished the game because of that. That really upset me in a major way. The game was already 60 USD on launch plus tax, right? Why the hell am I being charged to get special gear when it should be something that's like locked away in a hidden dungeon somewhere? Why are you not making more interesting gameplay? Why the hell are you not making more interesting gameplay? Why are you not like rewarding players for exploring the video game that was created? You know? That really upset me. Still to this day, it pisses me off. And so based on that alone, I have to say Cyberpunk. Just on that alone.
Cyberpunk is a great time.
Cyberpunk is good anyway, yeah.
All right. Chris, is it what? Christian Tackett?
Yeah, Chris.
Do you know the name called Kula World? It was a PS1 game where you had to steer a ball through logical levels and solve lots of things.
I don't think so. I don't think I've played that one. No. Yeah, I don't think I have at all. Doesn't ring a bell.
Broku wants to know chicken bacon ranch or honey mustard pizza.
I'm going honey mustard. I don't really like ranch too much. Like I like ranch flavoring, but like I don't really do creamy textures. Not a fan of creamy textures at all. Never have been. Don't like it. Just grosses me out for some reason. It's very texture-based reason for me for that. I can't stand it. So I'm gonna go honey mustard.
Okay. Pumpkin plays. Well done on 25K. What's your favorite food?
Thanks, man. I'm super basic. I like pizza and burgers, dude. That's what I like. Okay, so playing the Paladin was really great there. I didn't struggle with that whatsoever. That was pretty clean.
Okay. Richard Cole asks, have you ever played Space Quest from Saria Games? It tastes as good as it smells as good as it looks, and it looks as good as it feels.
Space Quest, like, there's a game on Space Quest? I remember watching him, like, is that the one with, Space Quest? That has Tim Allen in it, right? I want to say I've seen the movie called Space Quest, but not the...
It's a series?
Not a game. I don't recall. I don't think I've seen no, I don't think I have, man. Mid-90s game? Yeah, I don't think I've played it, man. I think I missed that one. All right. Guys, I'm going to give you just a second to answer and to put in any more questions. I'm going to close this out in just a minute, and then we're going to answer the remaining questions. We're going to do one more play and then call it a night there, okay? We've got
about 24 questions left before anyone even enters, so.
Okay. 86 to 95, 6 games. Yeah, I don't think I've ever played it, dude.
It's not often you'll hear him say that.
Let's do Chaos Walker again. Do you know Ed? Ed, and Eddie? Yeah. All right, I'm not going to press the end Q&A button because I don't know if it's going to close out that window on you. So yeah. I'm going to leave it open, but just kind of...
I know who the last one is.
Okay, so consider that one the last one. Anything after that, we'll not talk about right now.
Okay. All right, so... where did it go? Oh, Brittany Kelker, sorry. You're a metal fan who hasn't moshed? Do you have plans to? We're in our 30s, dude.
I've no plans on moshing. No moshing plans. Honestly, just thinking about that gives me a headache. Am I old? Am I old now? But yeah, I've not gone to like any shows. I don't really have plans to. A lot of it is just like I'm just pretty asocial. I don't like to be in public spaces like that. It's not that I wouldn't appreciate the experience. It's just I would need I would need Xanax that day. You know what I mean? Just like I'm very, very asocial. I always have been. But yeah.
Okay. Ween Mist wants to know, what's the tamest game you have ever played? Minecraft, Animal Crossing, like that?
I've played Minecraft, but I'm going to tell you, when you get into the end game of Minecraft, that is not tame. No. It is no longer tame. I would say the tamest game I probably played was my time at Sandrock comes to mind. That game, that game is just like it's more about like the community experience and building up the community in that game than it is about like causing any chaos or anything like that. That game was pretty tame for me. So I'd say that one's up there. That's the tamest one I can think of at the moment.
Graphite wants to know, with your schedule, do you allow time to exercise?
A little bit, yeah. I will admit that I'm not the greatest at kind of keeping up with exercise, but luckily I do have to run up and down stairs many times every single day. So that definitely helps out. That's something that, like, I don't complain about having to go up and down the stairs just because it's something that I know helps me out in a big way. And then, you know, I kind of go through stints where I'll work out every day for like 2 months and then stop for 2 months. You know what I mean? It just depends on what's going on with everything else at the time.
All right. Black Crystal wants to know, turkey or ham?
If I had to choose between the two, I'm probably gonna go turkey.
Yeah, that's right.
Are you like defender of turkey or what? Turkey enthusiast over here. Turkey enjoyer.
I'm an enjoyer of the bird, okay? Nandor the Relentless says, have you ever watched the documentary What We Do in the Shadows on FX?
I have not. Nope.
Nope.
I have no idea what it's about aside from the title. I'm assuming it's about what some people do in the shadows, like maybe some pretty dark shit, like what happens in alleyways and stuff. That's my only guess.
Majin Kai asks, hey Josh, what's one food you couldn't go without?
A food I couldn't go without. Chicken tenders, chicken fingers, stuff like that, like fried chicken, man. Yeah. Trying to think, like, they're not my favorite thing, but they're definitely up there. But it's like when I'm craving them, I'm really craving them, man. Like really craving them.
All right, Pumpkin Plays wants to know who your favorite Pokemon is.
My favorite Pokemon? I've got a tattoo of Charmander on my leg, actually. Charmander, and he's got like a little helmet, a backpack, a little helmet and a backpack, like he's trying to like look like Charizard. There's actually
the backpack's got wings.
Yeah, the backpack's got like wings on it and stuff. I have a picture of it on my Instagram if you'd like to check it out. That is there.
I actually set that one up for him. He'd been talking about it since we met. And eventually I was just like, you know what, we're doing this. And didn't I get it done for your birthday last year?
Yes.
Yeah, because I was like, hey, we're going to do this. You're not streaming this day, right? Okay. Eat. And he's like, are you going to be mad if I guess? No. He's like, we're getting a tattoo. I'm like, yes. And it's going to be awesome.
All right, first pair of bosses is down.
All right. Dom Lawson wants to know, will you ever consider being a beard model?
A beard model. I don't know. I don't really think the modeling life is for me, man. I don't think that's anything that I would ever do personally. Pretty good without that. Not of interest. The only modeling you'll ever see me do is modeling this video game for you right now. Look at this. Look how good this video game is. It's so fun. Like, this is a great game. I'm loving this. This game does come out tomorrow, by the way. It enters early access on Steam tomorrow. I did get early access to it. I was given a key early. Definitely check this game out. If you guys are enjoying this, then you're going to like playing the game yourself, too. It's pretty good. If you like Vampire Survivors, you're going to like this, too, man. And no, this is not sponsored or anything like that. I'm just genuinely enjoying it. Genuinely enjoying the game. It's very fun.
All right. Ruddle the Panda says, first saw you stream back in the Battlefield era and started watching because of the beard. What do you think made a camless stream and switch to YouTube so successful compared to the Twitch days?
So I think a lot of it is just kind of when I came over to YouTube, it was something like I've already got like a lot of practice, a lot of experience in it. So I know how to run a stream and actually kind of get things off the ground. Like I essentially started this channel from scratch, you know, got it up off the ground, and here we are 7 months later hitting 25,000 subscribers. So a lot of it is just kind of my knowledge around like how the internet content creation world works. Specifically, I've spent a lot of time studying how YouTube and the algorithms work as well, and how it can kind of match what I like to do with what people want to see at the same time. So it's more about that than it is having a camera and showing off like my beard, or even playing FPS games where my skill shines the brightest. It's more about just kind of understanding how it works than anything else. And so it just kind of worked out that way. I came in with a lot of knowledge and a lot of experience on top of that knowledge, and I've made, you know, the most of it in that short amount of time. It's definitely gone better than I thought it would, which raises my confidence for sure. And I'm hoping that things can continue to go well, but that's what it really comes down to.
Terry Rose wants to know if you've ever been to Disney.
I have never been to Disney. I've been to Universal Studios, and I've been to several other like theme parks. My favorite theme park that I ever went to was actually what's the one with all the roller coasters in Ohio?
I was gonna say it's the one in Ohio, Cedar Point.
Cedar Point, yes, that's what it's called.
The
Cedar
one I've
Point.
never been to.
Yep. Me and my best friend drove all the way to Ohio, a 9-hour trip, so we can ride roller coasters all day, and it was awesome. Like when I tell you that my head hurt by the end of it, my head hurt, dude. They had, you know, that you know, Superman. They had the tallest coaster in the world at the time, where it's basically just one straight shot down. And it was so tall. I want to say it was like 300 feet at the time. I don't know if it was that high, but I want to say that. I could be way off. But that's what I remember. And we rode everything. They even had a Hot Wheels roller coaster there at the time, where you had like these little crotch rocket motorcycles, and you actually sat on them like a motorcycle, and they had like a bar that came down like over your hands, and you gripped onto this thing, and then like had a little thing on your back to kind of hold you into it as well, that came down after you sat down on it. And it went from like 0 to 60 in, I want to say 4 or 5 seconds as well, so it was really fast. It like Cedar Point was such a good time. I would love to go back sometime too. It's been a while since I've been on a coaster, a really long while.
Oh, since way before you and I met.
Yeah.
At least for me.
Yeah, that was the last time I was actually on a coaster. The first roller coaster I was ever on was actually at SeaWorld of all places. I think it was called the Kraken.
Yup.
Very, very odd, but yeah, the Kraken. It was the first coaster I ever rode when I was 15, I think. And my uncle took me there, me and my brother. Hey, Thomas Webb, thank you for the $10 super chat. Says congrats on the 25K, Josh. Hey, Thomas, thank you, man. And thank you for the generosity as well. It means a lot, dude. Thank you for that. That's incredibly kind. Thank you, dude. And thank you for hanging out with me again today, too. It's great to have you back.
Right, Hawkwind, we don't have a question. They just say 3 days, baby.
3 days. We'll be here. God of War. I'm looking forward to it. It's going to be a good time.
Broku asks, would you play a game like Roller Coaster Tycoon, but Jurassic Park, where you create your own park, but when it opens, all your attractions get out and turns into a survival game?
Oh, I would check that out. Yeah, I mean, there is like you do have the Jurassic Park like Tycoon games. Though there's 2 of them, I believe. So like they exist, but they don't have the whole idea where it turns into a survival game after like everything breaks down. I would try that.
That would be so cool.
I would try it.
Just James wants to know when we met if I was already a gamer. If not, what games would you recommend for couples to get into gaming? I was a gamer like when I was a kid. I really loved video games, but then when I was a teenager, it was one of those things where I was too cool for it. Like I didn't really care. I just wanted to go out and party with my friends, and then I met Josh, and I was just like, oh, video games. So. Yeah. What would you recommend for couples to get into gaming?
Dude, this is gonna sound kind of basic, but Skyrim offers you so many different ways to play the game. Like there's so many different like ways you can build a new character that I would say you guys can like kind of create your own characters, or even just kind of play one character together. It's not co-op or anything, but man, Skyrim is so good at just kind of allowing you to play how you want to play. You just kind of load up the game. You don't even have to follow the main story. You can just go out there, level up. You can help different people in different towns. You can explore. You can smith. You can just make weapons all day if you want to. Like, that's the thing you can do. It's very good for that. Just kind of play how you want to play. Load it up and just kind of go at it. You can talk to people. You can go like to the local inn and just kind of listen to the music and the stories that people have to talk about and stuff, man. It's actually really great. And I would say, like, if you're trying to get into gaming or show the greatness of gaming, there's a reason why Skyrim is so popular and keeps getting released time and time again. It just got like its 5th release and another remaster not too long ago. So I would say like that's a great place to start. You can really start like a very good conversation around video games with the Elder Scrolls V Skyrim.
Yes. Let's see. Count Dread. We've kind of already gone over this, but what got you into video games? I was a tyke starting with Atari 2600 and Pac-Man.
So my mom was in nursing school when I was about 2 years old, and in order to distract me so she could focus on her education whenever she was at home, and she was kind of like a single mom at the time because not to get too deep and dark into it, but my father is not a good dude, and my biological father, that is. And so she just she wanted to better herself, so she started going to school to become a nurse, and she used video games to distract me so she could focus on those studies. And so I started off with Nintendo Entertainment System, playing a lot of Super Mario Brothers and Tetris. And within the first day I actually played this game, specifically Super Mario Brothers, I beat the game the first day I played. And so my mom didn't believe me, and so she said, if you can do it again while I'm watching, I'll buy you another Super Mario Brothers game, because apparently one had just released at the time. And so I sat down and beat it again over the course of a couple hours, and so she bought me Super Mario Brothers 3. She couldn't find a copy of 2, so she bought me 3. How do I find the Discord? !Discord in the chat will give you a link.
All right. Pumpkin Plays, have you played Assassin's Creed? If not, will you?
I've played a lot of Assassin's Creed games. I played all of them right up to 3, but I actually really, really, really disliked 3. I thought 3 was god-awful, and it actually made me not play the games for a long time. I didn't play Black Flag, for example, and I know a lot of people consider Black Flag to be the best of the franchise, but I never played it because I hated 3 so much that it made me not want to play any of them. So when 4, Black Flag came out, I didn't touch it because I hated 3 that much. So I actually got back into Assassin's Creed when they released Assassin's Creed Origin. And, shit, I forgot what I was going to say. I got back into it with Assassin's Creed Origin, and I did enjoy it, but I felt like the game was a little bit too long. Like, it just took too much time to really get all the way through and experience everything in a good way for what was offered with the gameplay. So I skipped out on playing Odyssey, and then I played Valhalla, and then I found that Valhalla had a microtransaction format and hated that idea. As much as I enjoyed the gameplay, I hated the microtransactions involved. So now I don't really know where I stand with the franchise. I don't know if I'm going to check out the next one on release, or if I'm going to wait, or what. I'm thinking that I'm just going to check it out and see how it goes, but I'll go in with bated breath. You know what I mean? What's up, Kai?
Okay. Breadloaf says Army of Darkness begins coming to end the world, and you've got to bring 2 game characters to help you save it. Who are you bringing?
Commander Shepard.
Duh.
Commander Shepard can save the world, and Commander Shepard can save the galaxy.
Yes.
And Earthworm Jim. Because you need you need comedic relief while Shepard takes care of business. Yes, that's my answer.
I say Crash Bandicoot. Simeon, I can't say your last name. Simeon. Hey, Juice, when did you realize you've started a cult? An awesome community of good following.
That's a great question. No, if I'm being honest with you, I feel like I've had a really great following since the day that I got partnered on Twitch way back when. That was in 2017 when I got that partnership check mark over on Twitch. I realized what what streaming could do for not only for myself, but just kind of for the gaming experience in general. And so I knew back then, with everything going on, that if I could build it up to that point and to where I could like garner that much attention amongst so many great people from across the world, then it's something that I've always kind of been confident in being able to do. So I guess since then, I've always been very happy with what I've had. Even though back then was way smaller than what I have now, I've always enjoyed what I've done.
Right. Carmen Winstead asks, would you ever play games modded, such as in Dark Souls 3, they have the Cinders mode, in Dark Souls 1, it's the Age of Sunlight?
Yeah, I have a couple times on stream. I played a modded version of Skyrim, the Enderall conversion mod, as well as I played the Ascended mod for Elden Ring. I did all that live on stream as well. So I have done that already, and I likely will with more specifically on Elden Ring in the future as well. Just going to be one of those things where when the time is right for it, when I've not, when there's not a whole lot of new games coming out and stuff.
Lost my spot. Broku says, statement, not question, miss our Halo 2 split screen days.
Yeah, there was a time when everyone in the community, like all the gamers in the community, would meet up, play Halo. We'd have like little like LAN things going on. We'd hook up a couple Xboxes, 4 people to each Xbox, and we'd play Capture the Flag for hours in Halo 2. Man, that was a good time. Specifically the map with the snow fortresses, man. So good. So good, man.
Right, this next one is also a statement. Mr. What is it, Cactuar?
Yes.
I would take Megaton in Fallout 3 as my place. I think that has to go with another question from earlier.
Yeah. Megaton? You would live in Megaton, huh? I guess as long as you trust the bomb to not go off, I guess you're all right, man. I guess you're all right.
See, I would live in Megaton if the main character already came in and deactivated the bomb.
Yes.
Because obviously I'm an NPC, not a main character. NPCs live longer. All right, we got 2 more.
Okay.
And that's the end of my list. I mean, there's more, but that's where we're cutting off.
Yeah.
What is it? Guerra? Congrats on 25K. Don't know if anyone asked. What's your favorite genre of game? I apologize. If any, Spellbound can answer hers if she likes to. I like RPGs and simulations.
I'm big on RPGs and well, I guess not so much first-person shooter games these days, but RPGs, and I also enjoy tactical turn-based strategy stuff. Like, think of things like Fire Emblem, or I played War Tales about a year ago. Stuff like that, where you have individual units on a board that take turns beating each other up. I love that shit. It's very good.
All right, and last but not least, Paranormal Sponge Cake wants to know if you have a favorite video game developer.
I'm big on BioWare. A lot of what BioWare has on offer from their older library has kind of shaped me into the gamer that I am today. I enjoyed a lot of Baldur's Gate, Dragon Age Origins, Mass Effect, and Jade Empire, as well as Knights of the Old Republic. All those games have really been something that I enjoyed all of those for many, many hundreds, if not thousands of hours. I love those games dearly. I love them dearly. Okay, we beat that one as well. So overall, we made it through most of these stages today, guys. That is going to be it for the Q&A. I'm going to close this. We're going to cut that off there. Well, ask me one more. What's next on the list?
Next one just says hi.
Hi. Okay, one more.
Brian Boyven, I really enjoyed your Dragon Warrior playthrough of Elden Ring. Any plans to do some sort of themed build again in the future? Black Knight Assassin, Crucible Warrior, etc.
Yeah, I would love to play through the game as like a Black Knight Assassin or a Crucible Knight. I've even considered like Soldier of Godric, Ancient Hero of Zamor, stuff like that. When I do more playthroughs in the future, that's going to be more of what I go for rather than like specific weapons from now on. We did that obviously with Sir Gideon Ofnir, and that was a really good time. I would love to do that same thing as like a Crucible Knight or something. That'd be so sick. But yeah, that is a plan that I have as well. Yep. See, exactly, Breadloaf. Mass Effect, Dragon Age, Knights of the Old Republic made me go from liking video games to loving them. Exactly. They're just great universes, dude.
Mass Effect for me. I mean, that's what brought me out of my shell again.
Yeah.
I used to pick on Josh all the time. Be like, what are you playing? What is that? The graphics look terrible. And then one day I'm like, let's try it. And he comes by and goes, I'm sorry, you're playing what?
Yeah, that was
okay.
When her brother was over, we were hanging out playing video games, and she was sitting there on my PC playing Mass Effect for the first time, and I was like, hell yeah.
Yeah.
Hell
and
yeah.
I cried so hard.
Yep, it's a good game.
It is.
But all right, guys, again, this video game is called Soulstone Survivors. It comes out tomorrow on Steam, November 7th, enters early access. You've got a whole bunch of characters that you can, I think you just start off with one, the Barbarian. That's what I started with. And then I'm not sure if that'll change when the game releases, but as you complete more things, you'll unlock more and more characters. As you can see, I've only got 2 characters I haven't unlocked yet. I've got all the others, but that's just because I played the game before I started streaming it today. This is a game that you'll be able to play starting tomorrow. If you like Vampire Survivors or roguelites in general, you will enjoy this too. If you're into things like Vampire Survivors or what was the one that was mentioned earlier? Shoot, I've drawn a blank. Risk of Rain. If you like Risk of Rain, you'll like this as well. Very much along that similar type of gameplay where it's just chaos, enemies everywhere. You're finding, items to kind of help you, become stronger, so on and so forth. And yeah, thank you guys again for 25,000 subscribers on the channel. It means the world to me. It's been a great time kind of hanging out with you guys, allowing you guys to kind of ask me whatever it is that's on your mind. It's been a good time. Maybe we'll do this again at like 50,000 or something. It's a long way away, but maybe we'll do it again. We'll see what happens. I will be back in just a few days to play God of War on PlayStation. God of War Ragnarok comes out on the 9th, so we're going to be checking that out. I do believe the game will release at midnight, so I likely will go live at midnight on the 9th to start playing the game right away. We're going to be playing on the hardest difficulty for the first time and getting through the game together. It's going to be a good time. I can't wait. I'm very excited about it. Very excited. But yeah, I'm out of here for now. I'm going to go eat some food and probably play some Monster Hunter or something. Anyways, folks, thank you for hanging out with me. Thank you for leaving a like on the stream or the video. If you're watching this later, thank you for joining me. And thank you again for checking out a game that's very much so out of the usual of what I play on stream. This was a very, very fun day. Thank you all so much for all the generosity of your time, as well as the super chats and gifted members, and just subscribing to the channel. And of course, thank you, wife, for helping out, helping relay all the questions for the Q&A from you guys to me while I go through the chaos of this game.
This was a lot of fun.
Yeah. And make sure you join up. Yeah. Thank you guys for joining up on the Discord as well. ! Discord in chat. If you want to keep in touch whenever we're not streaming, that's the place to do it. Join up on the Discord and join in the conversations that we have there, okay? If you're in chat, you can type !Discord and click the link to join on in. And if you are not in chat, if you're watching this later and still want to join up on the Discord, you can go to my channel page, youtube.com/theJOSHfeed, and on the top right, just on the right side of the banner, you'll see a little Discord icon you can click on to join there. But yes, until the 9th, guys, I hope you enjoyed your stay. Be excellent to each other, and I'll see you for God of War in just a few days. Much love, folks. I'll see you soon.